timing looked better on that one. Looked like there was some recognition. There's like a split-second delay that happens right before you swing. Your foot gets down, and whether you decide to fire or not fire, there's just a little hesitation, a little bit of time to recognize pitches, and it looked like he had it on that one. It looked like he saw it out of the hand. He just fouled it back.
No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch is low and away, 1-2. There was a long conversation around Carlos. We were part of the media gathering with Rocco today, and people talking about something Carlos had said about how he doesn't feel mechanically he can check his swing when he doesn't want to swing. Doesn't that really go back to recognition, though, and not starting the swing in the first place? Here's the 1-2. Swung on and hit well. High in the air, right center field, but playable for Benson. He makes the catch. He went up above the top of the zone to hit that one, and he lines out to right field, and Carlos is retired. I'm sure we'll continue our discussions on Carlos's offensive struggles throughout the day. A run on a hit. Sound familiar? Yeah, another leadoff home run for Byron Buxton, who has now homered in 3 consecutive games, and the Twins hand.
A lot of fans and collectors will look at the T206 set as the more famous of the sets that were produced in the early part of the 20th century, and certainly they would carry more financial value. But when you talk to collectors, some will tell you that these T205s are actually more physically attractive. They're maybe the most physically attractive cards produced prior to World War II.
Which ties a career high, brought to you by Target, proud partner of the Twins. Have you convinced him to play for Team Canada yet? Like, are you going to get him on the Canadian roster for any international play?
If he's willing, I'm sure we'd find a spot for him.
Yeah, you could find a place to play him.
Between him and Naylor, who's going to play first and who's going to DH, but
you could figure it out.
I think having both those bats would be something.
TJ Friedl, he's been something all year long. He takes a first pitch strike, a fastball at 92 from Chris Paddock, and the count is 0-1. Little muggy today, warm, and these are the conditions Paddock loves. He wears the long dark sleeves, has those high stirrups, and he delivers 0-1, a little check swing foul, and that's over near the Twins dugout in front of Deshaun Kersey Jr. Quickly 0-2, and this is a situation Paddock didn't find himself in often against the Astros. Morning, it felt like the ball was in play within the first 2 pitches of every at-bat.
Yeah, they had a game plan. They had what they were looking for, and they were able to get on Paddock, especially in the first couple innings. They were very aggressive, and he was kind of on the defensive after that. Good to see him coming out firing strikes right away.
Red spikes on the third base side of the pitching plate, and a ground ball the other way, just foul. Twins were spared a double for Friedl by inches. With the pull shift on, Brooks Lee was nowhere in the vicinity of third base, and Friedl, well, he was late on that slider, kind of didn't want to swing, and ended up just redirecting it up the third base line and nearly was rewarded.
It was almost a swing. As a hitter, the ball's on the way, and you're not sure if it's going to be a ball or strike, and all you're trying to do sometimes is foul it off. He almost got himself a double out of it. A little emergency hack, we'd call him.
Buxton is shallow and in right center. As the changeup misses wide, it's 1-2. There's a big gap for Friedl in a center to left center field. Castro is pretty much straight away, and the pitch is on the way, and Friedl pulls it foul at the first base line. It stays 1-2, a slider.
Ow.
Your hands buzzing just watching that?
I mean, he might have got that off the pine tar. Sometimes you get jammed so bad that your bat doesn't even break. That one looked like one of those situations. See if they go to the changeup, try and generate the swing and miss after speeding him up with that slider in right there.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and cued the other way, and that will land fair and down into the left field corner. and it looks like extra bases. It was a four-seam fastball, and Friedl went the other way. He beats the defensive alignment, and it's a leadoff double for the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, I think if Brooks Lee there is even playing straight up third base, I don't think he catches this ball. But we've noticed this throughout this series, quality of at-bats, just willing to take what the game gives you. We've seen a lot of hits to the opposite field. He was in the middle of the field, scoring runs in different ways. And when you're rolling as an offense, when you're playing good baseball as a team, it seems like it's such a simple formula, and you execute it to a T.
Well, here's Gavin Lux, hitless in the series, bats left-handed. Lee is cornered off at third base. Short lead for Friedl. He's rocking back and forth, and the first pitch is fouled away, 0-1. Well, something that is worth noting, aside from yesterday's fourth inning when Trevor Larnach knocked in a run to make it 4-2, and then Bailey Ober threw up a goose egg in the next half inning, every time the Twins have scored in this series, the Reds have scored in the next half inning. Breaking ball pulled foul. First base coach Cowgill grabs that one barehanded, throws it into the seats. It's 0-2.
And that can be demoralizing, especially for a team that's struggling scoring runs. You know, every time you get one, they get one right back or get two back, and you know, when you're kind of lacking that confidence 1 through 9, it can wear on you, and you start to press a little bit and start trying to do a little too much. I think that's part of what we've seen.
0-2 pitch off the plate away, 1-2. So this at bat following Friedel's trail. Also worth noting, the Reds 2 more first inning runs last night. They have 57 on the year, third most in the league. And the first inning's been trouble for Paddock. Teams hit .291, ERA over 5 in the opening frame. Runner at second, nobody out, and the 1-2 misses in. Yeah, the count is 2-2. I wonder, with Cuzzy having shown a pretty wide zone so far, if maybe off the plate away, see how far off you can go and get a strike against a lefty. Wallner would tell you can go quite a ways. There's the pitch. They come in, and it's fouled straight back. It's 2-2.
It looked like they were trying to go away with that one and ended up missing over the inner third of the plate. Fouled it back. It looks to me like once they get to 2 strikes, they let the ball get a little bit deeper. They're letting the ball carry, and they're willing to just take the single up the middle, base hit the other way off the fastball, and then give himself a chance to stay on the off-speed stuff.
In other words, good hitting, right?
A plan.
Good sound hitting.
It's one thing to have a plan. It's another thing to execute it. And when you do it 1 through 9, it makes that pitcher grind through every single at-bat, no matter who's in the batting order, who's standing in the batter's box.
Wind gusting out to center, and the breaking ball popped up on the infield. Paddock looking at it. Lee is under it. Sun reflecting off his glasses, and he makes the catch, fading to his left. That was not an easy play for Brooks Lee. With the wind rippling the flags here at Great America Ballpark, he stuck with it, and that's out number 1.
And that's part of, I was asking the pregame show, what do you need to do to be ready? You need to be ready from the first pitch, and how are you ready? What does that mean? Understanding how the infield's going to play. Is it wet? Is the ball going to skip? But also, what direction is the wind blowing? Because it's the opposite of what it's done the first 2 games of this series, and that ball drifted almost back to the pitcher's mound, and it started over third base.
There's De La Cruz, a check swing, and it's a foul ball over near Tommy Watkins, who knocks it down coming off the top step.
So if you're gonna misplay a ball like that, if that ball's going to drop, that's 100% preparation. That is not knowing your elements, what the ball's going to do when it's hit. And Brooks did a nice job of running that thing down and adjusting to the wind.
First pitch strike to the third straight Red. The 0-1. A check swing, I believe he went, and he did not, says third base umpire David Rackley. A slider on the back foot, it's 1-1. Hitters 2 and 3 in this lineup, Lux and De La Cruz. They're combined 0 for 11 in this series, but there is a caveat. They've walked 5 times. De La Cruz can have an impact even when he doesn't get a hit. And this pitch is tapped to the right side, a foul ball for France. And it's 1-2. I love how much fun Ty has down there. He, again, tiptoes to the chalk like he's a wide receiver, and then reaches out to see if he can grab the ball while keeping his spikes, quote-unquote, inbounds. Plays NFL rules, 2 feet, not 1.
Whatever we can do to keep ourselves entertained, engaged, whatever, but it's also entertaining for me to watch because I was never really that comfortable fielding ground balls.
1 ball and 2 strikes to De La Cruz, a 1-0 Twins lead on the Buxton homer. Pitch on the way, up and in, and the count is 2-2. It was fun listening to Ty and Brooks talk about their relationship. And while they may be on opposite corners of the infield today, they are batting back-to-back in the lineup, so they have a chance to chew each other's ear there as they prepare to hit. Paddock pumps that front leg and now looks back to second. And Friedel just strolls back to the base. There's nobody there to take a throw, even if Paddock had wanted to make one.
Well, I could just make him aware that you're paying attention to him out there. As those counts run deeper, he gets some foul balls. Sometimes you sleep on those guys a little bit or fall into a pattern of coming set and going.
Paddock offers, and it's fouled away. Big wicked cut there. 2-2. Now you heard Rocco talk about De La Cruz a little bit. Just a special kind of athlete with his ability to get to balls, his elasticity in that 6'6" frame, the grace with which he moves, explosiveness of his arm and his bat. A lot of quick twitch there. And he swings and rolls one back up the middle. Backhand pickup by Correa, has to hurry and does, and De La Cruz is out at first as Friedel advances to third base. And it's not unlike Byron Buxton. There's no such thing as a routine ground ball with him, is it?
I was just going to say, Carlos Correa's internal clock works as well as anyone in the game. He understood the hop on this ball, that he needed to come get it. He was up the middle and then had to play it on the back end. Just understood that there's speed going down the line. This has to be a clean catch. It's got to be a good exchange and a good feed. He played that exactly how he'd want to play it.
So the tying runs down the line at third. Tyler Stevenson is the hitter. Need to get off the field here. 2 out runs have been a problem on this road trip, and the first pitch up and away. That's the first batter who has started with ball one against Paddock so far. Stevenson and Trevino, a nice little catching combination. Stevenson hitting .254, 6 homers. He's driven in 15, and he rolls this one through the left side for a base hit, and it's a 1-1 game. Past a diving Brooks Lee. It's a 2-out RBI single, nothing fancy. Just a ground ball through the left side to equalize. And once again, the Reds score in the first. Their 58th first inning run this year, third most, trailing only the Dodgers and the Phillies. But even more demoralizing, they've answered the Twins' run with one of their own yet again.
Just those shutdown innings and keeping the momentum on your side, making sure you get your guys back in the dugout. Just unfortunately, during this run, it hasn't happened.
First pitch to Spencer Steer, a strike, and the count is 0-1. Boy, the 2-out damage. We saw the Astros, what did they score? Half their runs with 2 outs this season, and they did more than half against the Twins. And now the Reds with 2 down. Big hole right side for Steer. Former Oregon Duck, and he smashes this one fair past Brooks Lee and down into the left field corner. That's going to roll around for extra bases. Stevenson, the catcher, is going to get the windmill. Here's the relay to Correa. His throw to the plate won't be in time. And Tyler Stevenson gives the Reds the lead as he completes the lap from first on a 2-out first pitch double or second pitch double from Spencer Steer.
Well, from our vantage point, we kind of lose sight of this ball down in the corner. Not sure if it kind of got stuck underneath that half wall where Willie Castro went to play it. But Stevenson, a catcher, was able to come around. This ball had just enough hook on it to get past Brooks Lee but stay fair. And if Carlos Correa can't, with how quick he makes that relay throw and his arm strength, if he can't get him out, I don't think anybody has a chance.
There's a changeup, and Steer hooked it, and we've seen him hit the ball to all fields. Benson jumps on a first pitch. He fouls it away, 0-1. We saw Steer go oppo on Ober yesterday for a home run, then double into the corner. Pulled that ball into the corner. And Spencer Steer just tormenting the team that drafted him. And it's a 2-run first, and the Reds lead 2-1. And it's a dangerous environment right now in that Twins dugout as a pitch misses in 1-1, because at this point you've lost 6 in a row. You get another early jolt from Buxton just like yesterday. Hey, that's the spark we needed. And just like yesterday, you give 2 back right away. It's hard, human nature, not to be like, uh-oh, here we go again. And that's the challenge. Here's the pitch to Benson. It's high. 2-1. Cannot let this inning get away. And that's 25 pitches for Paddock. Now, fortunately, yesterday, there's a silver lining to the rain-shortened game. Your bullpen is fresh, but
you don't want to see him any time before the 6th.
Yeah, you need length. 25 pitch first, 2 runs across. Paddock delivers. Benson golfs it to the right side. And it's 2-2, a foul ball as Cowgill grabs another. He's 2 for 2.
If you look at it at this beginning of this series, you said, all right, Ellie De La Cruz is 0 for the first 2 games and then his first at bat. All right, we got a chance. We should be up in this series or split, but it's been the entire lineup that has been the problem. Just one guy after another putting together good at bats.
And Steer has been the extra base guy. Almost everybody else just paper cuts, just single here, single there. But Steer has ripped a couple of doubles. He's ripped an opposite field home run.
Even though he was traded by the Twins,
yeah,
and it gave him an opportunity, it still feels good to do that against your former team.
And it's not like the Twins didn't love the guy. I mean, the Twins were incredibly high on Steer as the pitch swung on and missed, and Benson's down on strike. So Paddock gets out of the inning without any further damage, but the Reds grab a lead with a 2-run first inning. 2-1 Cincinnati after 1 on your home for Twins baseball.
Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. $2,000 down payment and first payment due at signing. See dealer for complete details.
Ty France going to lead off against Nick Martinez here in the second. 2-1 Reds, and the first pitch is strike, and the count is 0-1.
Got to answer. Just like they've been answering all series long, Twins need to answer here.
Well, France, Lee Jeffers will try to do that as the pitch delivered wide, and it's 1-1. The problem has been the Twins are getting offense from solo home runs and honestly mostly just from Byron Buxton and Brooks Lee and a dose of Trevor Larnach. Reds have been getting offense from everyone as France pushes one high in the air foul. It's 1-2.
Yeah, part of the problem has been that you have so many guys going through these lengthy struggles, whether they're long 0-fers or 1-fers, 2-fers. You know, this road trip, it's really been a battle throughout the lineup.
Martinez delivers a 2-strike pitch, and it's shot into the right field corner for France. Stay fair. That ball is a foul ball out of our line of sight. And France, halfway between first and second, will have to spin around and head back to home plate. He pats Martinez on the rump as he passes by.
Yeah, former teammates. Talked about how he enjoyed his time here in Cincinnati. You're going good. That ball seems like it stays fair. Kind of like the ball down in the corner that bounced over the bag. Ended up scoring a runner from first base. It's just, but you keep hitting it hard and keep trying to make your own breaks. Eventually, you believe it's going to turn.
2-strike pitch again is up and in, and it's 2-2. Yeah, the Twins have had a noticeable lack of these extended rallies. I'm talking 2-3 hits in an inning, or you get a couple of walks and you get the big double in the gap. 2-2 here is in there for a called strike 3. Top of the zone. 3 strikeouts for Martinez. We mentioned he doesn't strike many out, 58 coming in and 80 in the third innings, but he has 3 all looking as Lee will hit. Brooks' hitting streak now at 17 games. Now, I don't have the breakdown how many of those hits are right-handed, how many of those hits are left-handed, but it's been split fairly evenly. He's had good swings from both sides of the plate. They play a little pull shift on him left-handed, and he watches wide, 1 ball, no strikes.
I think because he's a guy who doesn't walk a ton, he does have the potential with his ability to put the ball in play, make good contact, hit the ball all over the field. He is a guy that you look at and say he has the potential to go on a long streak like he has.
Swung on and pulled to the right side. Playable there for McLean. Up with it, over to first, and there are 2 away. And let's take 10 quick seconds for station identification on your home for Twins baseball.
AM 830 and 102.9 FM HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. The voice of Minnesota and the home of Twins baseball. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Well, Jeffers had a couple of knocks here on Tuesday night before leaving with the injured hand. Back in there today. The pitch is low and outside, and it's 1-0. Ryan had been in one of those 1-1s over the course of the past week and a half before going 2 for 2. He watches a pitch right over the outside corner, and it's 1-1.
Well, I feel like they've tried many different things. They tried starting a couple of lefties against the lefty yesterday, trying different spots in the batting order, try to kind of group those guys together a little bit more who have been having good at-bats.
1-1 is low, and the count is 2-1. And people will say, well, why don't you run more, bunt more? Again, this is the slowest roster, and that's not an opinion. That's just factually the slowest roster in baseball and the worst base running team in the game. There's a pitch off the plate away, 3-1.
I think it's also a product of opportunity too,
Yep.
right? How they haven't been getting many guys on base,
Or the right guys in the right situations.
Yep. Or you're down in the game and you're not going to take a chance like yesterday's ball game, down 4-1, 4-2. You're not really going to send a guy, risk getting somebody thrown out.
Here's a 3-1, and it's high, ball 4. There we go, base runner. Doesn't walk many, but that's the first walk, second hit batter, so a couple free base runners for the Twins. And now a big at bat here because Cody Clemens, when the Twins were rolling, was getting a lot of big hits. With this run of left-handed starters, Cody hasn't gotten to hit very often. And Cody is 0 for his last 11. He doesn't have a hit in 12 days. 1 for his last 21. That one hit was a home run. Up on the front foot, and the first pitch, he swings and he piles it high and foul. Stevenson loses the headgear. Back near the net, and that one is one row into the Reds' equivalent of the Champions Club. Drops next to a fan there. He's wearing a number 9 jersey, I think. Mike Moustakas Reds jersey. How about that? That's a deep cut.
Jersey.
Yeah, that's a jersey for sure.
Not a full commit, but
Moustakas as a Red. Last seen as a Savannah Banana. No balls and a strike to Clemens. He swings and pulls one deep to right field, sailing towards the river, and that ball is gone. Welcome back, Cody Clemens. A 2-run clout to right, and the Twins regain the lead. It's 3-2.
this ball was flattened. He absolutely crushed this thing. The only question was it going to stay fair? He knew it off the bat. He had a little bat flip, a little hop on the end. And that's a good feeling to be able to answer right back. Cody Clemens been waiting for his opportunity. Hasn't had many on this road trip, but he took advantage of one there.
And we mentioned he was 0 for his last 11. His last hit was a home run. And there's another home run for Cody, his 7th of the year. And Buxton, who is already homered, will be the batter. Pitch on the way to Byron, and he swings and drives deep to left field, headed for the upper deck. It'll settle for the lower bleachers. Second home run of the day for Byron Buxton. Twins go back-to-back, and they lead it 4-2.
Martinez gave up 3 solo homers in his last start. He's given up 3 home runs again in this outing, and Buck is absolutely locked in. This one, a breaking ball that he stayed on, and he loves hitting in Cincinnati. Talking to him before the game, said, "Did you get that one to center field?" He said, "I got it pretty good. I wasn't sure off the bat if it was going to go." But he's strong enough to hit him anywhere, and this one was well out of here. This one would have been out of every ballpark.
He is on another planet right now. 15th of the year for Byron, 34 interleague dingers, and here's Matt Wallner eager to get into it. He pops one up off his hands, spikes his bat down into the grass. De La Cruz is under it, backpedals, makes the catch, and the inning is done. Wallner's struggles continue, but the Twins have life. Back-to-back homers for Clemens and Buxton. It's the Twins 4, the Reds 2. On your home for Twins Baseball.
Some things sound better on the radio. Twins Baseball on News Talk 830 WCCO.
The Twins are a team. They work together to win. Great River Energy and its member-owner cooperatives work together as a team, too, by serving more than half of Minnesota with reliable, affordable energy in a sustainable manner. Together, we power what's possible. Learn more at greatriverenergy.com.
Hey fans, it's former Twins shortstop Roy Smalley. I've got some exciting news about an event that's close to my heart. The 2026 Special Olympics USA Games are coming to Minnesota next summer. This is a big deal. It's going to be one of the country's largest sporting events of 2026. Let's make it an unforgettable experience for the 3,000 plus amazing athletes with intellectual disabilities. Get involved or make a donation today at 2026usagames.org.
Step up to the plate. It's quick trips around the bases with Mars Wrigley. Just stop by your neighborhood Quick Trip. Purchase a Twix, Snickers, M&M's, Skittles, Starburst, or Milky Way with quick rewards, and boom, you're in. If you're selected and the Twins hit a triple during any game, you'll score a $100 Quick Trip gift card. If they don't, the pot grows by $100 every game until they do. Visit QuickTrip.com/sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. Quick Trip at Mars Wrigley. Proud partners of Twins Baseball.
Hey, it's Corey Probus with my wife, Dana. You've heard me call home safe hundreds of times throughout my career. I want Twins fans to keep their own home safe with Plunkett's Pest Control. From ants and mice to even bigger wildlife challenges like bats and raccoons.
Plunkett's Pest Control covers all the bases with their team of local technicians who are trained and ready to defend your home. From year-round protection programs to urgent visits, Plunkett's is your all-star team for pest defense. Slide into pest-free living, be like our family, and join the Plunkett's Pest family today at plunketts.net.
You're listening to the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
Now, the Twins have 3 hits in 2 innings, and they're all home runs. They lead at 4-2, and just imperative now that Chris Paddock answer with a scoreless frame here in the home second. It's the bottom third of the order, starting with Christian Encarnacion Strand. And he takes a strike called. It's 0-1 on the burly right-hander, who gets right up on home plate. Encarnacion Strand, then Espinal and McLean. This ball hits sharply to short, a big one-hopper for Carlos. Correa up with it, throws to first, 2 pitches for an out. Well, this is timely. The 2025 Pro Spirit MLB All-Star Ballot is live. Send your favorite Twins to Atlanta by going to twins.com/vote. Each vote will enter you into a sweepstakes for a chance to win 4 Champions Club seats to the Twins game scheduled to take place on September 2nd. Now, I get it. Every team encourages you to vote for all of their players. I'm not asking you to vote for a guy hitting $150, but I am begging you to vote for Byron Buxton, who just clobbered his 15th home run and has 2 of them today as a ball high to Espinal. He is having a special season and deserves to be in Atlanta.
Where would this team be without what he has done?
About 12 games under 500.
It's amazing what he brings when he's in the lineup. It's obviously noticeable. Everybody notices it when he's not in there, but when he is, you appreciate it, especially when he's on a run like he's on right now.
1-1 misses down and in, 2-1. It's with the bat, it's on the bases, it's defensively, it's in the clubhouse. This is what a healthy Byron Buxton looks like, which is an all-star and then some caliber player. Pitch just off the plate. Suddenly Phil Cuzzy has apparently washed his strike zone in hot water and shrunk it up. 3-1 on the ground to third. Brooks Lee has it. Looks at the runner, throws to first, 2 outs.
This is the guy you need right here.
Yep, this becomes imperative. 2 outs on ground balls. McLean has been a problem. In fact, the number 8 and 9 spots in the order. Remember how 2 and 3 in the order, 0 for 10 in the series, and now 0 for 12? Well, 8 and 9 are 5 for 11, and they've driven in 3 and scored a couple. McLean bats from the right side. He's not a typical 9-hole hitter. As a first pitch strike, 0-1. Yes, his average hovers around 200, a little below, but this is a much better player than that. He's a guy who's going to hit probably in the top 5 in your lineup when he's right. Pitch wide, and the count is 1-1. That just missed by a whisker. Twins scored first, gave 2 back. They got back-to-back homers from Clemens and Buxton for a 3-run second. Now 2 outs, nobody on. And a pitch low, and the count is 2-1 to McLean.
Quality strike can you throw to get back in this count? Do not want to go 3-1 on the 9-hitter.
Lee about a step behind the bag at third, now backing off a little more, and a ground ball to the right side. Clemens takes the room service feed, throws to first. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and Chris Paddock does the job. All 3 infielders with an assist there on 3 ground ball outs. We've played 2. Twins lead 4-2. We'll check in with John.
I was so inspired by what you were making that I want to do my own all-star ballpark bite, but I'm thinking we take some of that brisket that you make, and I'm going to do like a little slider. Got the pepper jack cheese, some American, get it going with some of the barbecue sauce that you have, that spicy, delicious one, and then caramelized onions. Make like a little sandwich. We cool?
Sound like a plan.
I think we did good.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks, Chef. cage. They get plenty in the cage. They get plenty on the field. Their bodies are going to be probably maybe even rested a little bit.
Yeah, rested enough to hit a home run more than 400 feet down that right field line. The bats are hot early, Chris.
And they're still hot here in the third. The first pitch to Willie Castro is whacked into right field for a leadoff single. So Castro picks up a base hit, the first non-home run given up by Nick Martinez today.
The old hitting is contagious.
Yeah, it spreads, and it can be a good virus.
Especially when your best player has 2 home runs. It seems like he has such a good feel for when this team really needs it. Not that he hasn't done a ton already in the first 2 games of this series, but it's almost like he just senses, hey, I got to get everybody going. The energy is going to be tough. We were here till midnight last night, and he just provides that spark so often.
Larnach's the hitter, and Larnach takes a ball. He's been grinding at bats. Seen a lot of pitches as a lob over to first base. Just looking up Byron, he has 4 homers now at Great America Ballpark in 3 games here. That is the same number of home runs that he has at Kauffman Stadium in 43 games. Pitch to Larnach, hits sharply foul up the first base line, 1-1. This kind of speaks to...
I mean, it speaks to where he's at, yes.
It also speaks to 2 completely different types of ballparks.
Yeah, because the first one he hit in this series, they got out to center field.
Yep.
Probably ends up somewhere on the warning track, depending on the conditions, of course. But if he hits it 406, and that's just short of being a home run in Kansas City.
The 1-1 wave through. That's one of the few changeups we've seen today. And Larnach has done a great job on the changeup this year. He's one of the better hitters in the league against off speed. But he missed that one.
The second one Buck hit was actually on a changeup.
Yeah. This ball hit in the air to center field for Friedel. Castro goes halfway. Friedel makes the catch. Yeah, but Morny, I said that we never saw that one because it got to the plate and it was screaming in terror, and then it disappeared into the ether.
Well, and I was more correcting myself. I think I called it a breaking ball when he hit it, and just because of the way it kind of rolled into the zone.
Well, if it wasn't broken when it started, it was when it landed. That's the thing about the home runs. It's not like they're Crawford box home runs, right? Little pop-ups that would be routine other places. Those were really smashed as a strike called. But the setting can lead to that, too, in terms of sight lines and confidence. And
just the ease. You're standing in the batter's box not feeling like it takes your best bolt to get it out of the ballpark. You can still hit a ball out at 90%. It allows you to be a little more relaxed. Lets the ball travel a little bit more, give yourself more time to recognize pitches.
Oh, one smash to left. There's a base hit for Carlos Correa. That's the best line drive he's hit in a couple of weeks. Multiple hits in the same inning for the Minnesota Twins. And there are 2 on for Ty France, and this is where Ty has excelled this year. And let's see if he can get back to his run-driving in ways. He's 0 for his last 14, but as he told you prior to the ballgame in Houston, he really values these opportunities to drive people in. It's a big deal.
He understands he's a guy who's probably not going to hit 30 homers, so he's got to be really efficient in these situations.
Smashes this ball to left field. Steer going back, it's over his head and it's off the wall. Late start for Willie Castro. He'll take the turn at third. He's headed for home. The throw from De La Cruz is high. Backed up by Martinez. A cloud of dust as Willie scores, and the Twins lead it by the score of 5-2.
Perfect. He's at 362 with runners in scoring position so far this year. And sometimes it's a situation just like that you need to get you locked back in. Whatever your offer is, I got a job to do right here. I'm not thinking about how I don't have any hits. I'm just looking to find a way to get that guy in from second base. And Correa read this great off the bat. Willie Castro was kind of only about a third of the way off second base. He wasn't sure if it was going to be caught by Steer in left field. And I think Tommy Watkins, the third base coach, did not have a choice whether he was going to send Castro or not, because Carlos Correa was about 15 feet behind him as he was rounding the bases.
If he didn't send Willie Castro, and I say this only because De La Cruz has such a big arm that you might be a little more conservative when he's involved in the relay. If he didn't send him, there would have been 2 Twins standing on third base, and one of them was going to be out. So Willie had to go, and De La Cruz overcooked it. Now we know he's got a cannon, but that throw was high, and credit Martinez for being where he needed to be backing up that play, because if he wasn't, Carlos Correa may have had a chance to score. It goes as a double for France and an RBI. Twins have scored in every inning, 3 hits in this inning, and they lead the game 5-2, with runners at second and third now for Brooks Lee. Hit that ball 110 miles an hour off the bat. Brooks Lee with a hole on the left side of the diamond. De La Cruz is right behind France. And the pitch is down and in. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, back-to-back balls hit 110. Correa, the ball he hit was 110 also. So good sign. A lot of solid contact. Obviously Buxton's homers. Clemens homer.
And just because we love numbers, that relay throw from De La Cruz was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Pitch to Brooks Lee, swung on a miss. He whiffed through a changeup, and it's 1-1. One of the few awkward swings we've seen lately from Brooks. Brooks heaves a big sigh. He's got 17 games worth of stubble on his chin. Runners at second and third. And a swinging nubber, a little slow roller. It's going to stay fair right up until it doesn't. Wow, that ball hit the lip, and you can actually see the visible edge of the grass. And it looked a little bit like a snooker ball hitting that felt, and it bounced just foul and was quickly pounced on by Espinal to send Lee back into the batter's box.
Yeah, it did have a little English. That would have been a great way to keep the hitting streak going. And they can't all be hard hits. You got to mix in some of those if you're going to hit that many games in a row. But just enough spin on it to kick it foul.
What was your longest streak?
Not anything close to that. 10, 11, something like that.
Well, the 17 for Brooks is the longest since Dozier had 24. Dozier actually wrapped a streak around between the 17 and 18 seasons, but he had a full 24-game streak in 2016. Pitch to Lee, swung on a miss, kind of a halfway cut. He didn't want to go, but he did. It was a four-seam fastball, and he's down on strikes.
Well, there was a ton of room at shortstop. It looked almost like he was just trying to play pepper there and just get something rolling through the left side that would allow Correa to score. But he ended up chasing out of the zone. See if his teammate Jeffers can pick him up here.
Yeah, let's get that crooked number here. Second and third now with 2 outs. Ryan walked his last trip, and he takes a fastball down and in. 1 ball, no strikes. We've reached that point with Byron where you're just waiting for him to come up again. It's like Kelly Leak syndrome. Like, when does he bat again? And he's currently just on the top step of the dugout. France edges off second, Carlos at third, and a pitch off the inside corner. It's 2-0. That's a pretty good pitch right there from Nick Martinez. You couldn't try to find the inside edge a whole lot better than that to a righty, but he doesn't get the call. Hitters count for Jeffers. All of his home runs have been away from home this year, and he takes a strike, 2-1.
Just surprising numbers when I was looking at him today. 49 home runs for the Twins on the road, only 28 at home. But the record doesn't match. 16 and 25 on the road, 20 and 12 at home. It's crazy in today's game where you need to hit home runs to win, that the records they're not really reflective of that.
2-1. Smashed into left field. Get down. That's fair. Down into the corner. Correa will score. France will score. Jeffers cruises into second. It's a 2-out, 2-run double, and the Twins lead 7-2 here in the third inning.
Just love that everybody's getting in on the act, no matter where they're hitting in the lineup today. A lot of solid contact, and that'll mark the end of Martinez's day as Tito Francona's coming out of the dugout.
Here comes Tito. There goes Nick Martinez. Cody Clemens will face a reliever when we return. Twins have scored in each of the first 3 innings today, including a 3-run third, and we've got a pitching change. It's brought to you by Uponor, leading with water, enriching lives together throughout Twins territory. A scoreboard update with John Vitas next on your home.
Talk to me.
This is called a Crawford dog. Hamburger bun.
Yes.
2 split top Angus beef hot dogs griddled on the skillet, on the plancha.
Amazing.
And then we do a bacon onion jam with Crawford Bach beer.
Pick it up like a burger.
Pick it up like a burger and you just go in, man.
Let's go to town. Dude. Oh, best hot dog I've ever had. Best hot dog I've ever had. I love this, man.
This is how I grew up eating hot dogs.
Home. Now representing the organization, Jim Leland and A.J. Hinch are presenting Miggy with a customized set of cleats made by renowned artist Marco Terzo.
Teams, then the level of pitching, even deep into a ball game, heck of a finish. Right here, the Twins are leading 7-2, and Cody Clemens, a big part of it. He homered his first at bat. He's facing right-hander Lyon Richardson. Richardson's first pitch to Clemens is in for a strike, and the count is 0-1.
It's funny how we talk about how late we got out of here. And how lack of sleep and both of us stayed up and watched that game.
That's a good point.
We're glutton for punishment.
No balls and a strike. Richardson, the righty, delivers down and in, 1-1. Debuted in 2023 with 4 games. Just appeared in, I think, 1 game last year. This year, a sparkling ERA in 16 contests, a 1.37 earned run average.
Interesting. More changeups than any other pitch.
Clemens takes a changeup for a strike.
Not quite the level of Tommy Kahnle out of that bullpen in Detroit, but
what did he throw? 22 straight changeups.
But he's about half of the time he's going to throw you a changeup. The rest is sinker, four-seam, curveball, slider.
Slender right-hander out of Florida. He was a second-round pick out of high school as he misses down, and the count 2-2. And Buxton's on deck, already 2 for 2 with 2 homers. Great to see Cody Clemens and his power stroke back in the lineup today. Big 2-run homer to give the Twins the lead in the second, and they're now leading 7-2. The pitch. Swung on and pulled foul, first base side.
Changeup. It's got a lot of depth to it. You can see why it's a pitch that he likes. He'll throw it 85-ish miles an hour, but almost more like a split the way it dives straight down towards the ground.
It's off the first base side of the rubber. Slight build. Hands low, and the pitch. And he misses in, and the count is full. Elevate your gaming experience as a member of Treasure Island's Passport Club. Join for free and get access to exclusive benefits, promotions, and more. Visit TICasino.com for details. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at second, 2 out. Buck on deck. There's the pitch. Swung on a missed, and down goes Clemens, and down go the Twins in the third. But a productive inning. A 3-run inning for the Twins. 3 runs on 4 hits. They lead 7-2 after 2.5 on the Home for Twins.
I believe this one's it's a rookie card, I know, but I feel like it's the first card that I ever, big league card. Obviously, as a kid, trying to get to the big leagues, the dream of making it. But as a kid that had cards, right, as a kid, this is like seeing your card the first time. It is pretty cool. So that's pretty powerful when you see that card.
So without further ado, snap on your time goggles and prepare to zoom 1,000 years into the future. The D-backs are still the D-backs, though now they're represented by a robotic techno-snake, and the Cubs have embraced their future amongst the stars, now being represented by Ursa Major. Minneapolis was the first to establish relations with our extraterrestrial friends. The Rays are the cosmic rays flying through space in their devil ray-shaped spacecraft.
Solutions in software, copy, print, phone, and video systems, and extraordinary people.
Visit coordinated.com.
Thank you for making Broadway Pizza a Twin Cities tradition since 1953. From our famous thin crust, original Broadway sauce, and homemade Italian sausage to our melty mozzarella, every pizza is prepared with love and appreciation. We are humbled to serve 13 communities in the metro and hope to see you soon.
Well, Chris Paddock provided the shutdown inning the Twins needed in the second. They rewarded him with 3 more runs. Working with a 5-run cushion, he faces Friedel, the top of the order. And the first pitch is just wide. It's 1 ball and no strikes. A ball and no strikes to Friedel, who doubled and scored in a 2-run first. Paddock's breaking ball, good for a strike, and the count is 1-1. Warm, windy day here in Cincinnati, very muggy. It was drizzling a bit when we woke up, came to the ballpark, but sunshine now. As the 1-1 fouled off the end of the bat, it's 1-2. Following the ball game, both teams race to the airport. Reds are headed to St. Louis, and the Twins are coming home to host the Brewers. Hope to see you at Target Field.
It's going to be a very similar style of play when they play the Brewers. A lot of speed.
The 1-1, that's wide. 2-2. Yeah, relentless. The Brewers are a relentless offense. I think about the Brewers. I think the Diamondbacks, the Reds, Tampa Bay. These are fast teams. This ball hit in the air to shallow right field. Late break for Wallner. He has to pull up, play it on a hop. That one had a parachute on it. And even as Wallner was busting in, and he's kind of now working that right leg a little bit. Remember, he's had the hamstring issues. He had to stutter to a stop there, lest the ball get by him. No chance to catch it. And Friedel is aboard yet again.
Change up down towards the end of the bat, and I think outfielders occasionally will get fooled when a guy takes a full swing. It looks like he's barreled it up, and by the time he recognized that it was down towards the end of the bat, maybe even broke his bat. Had to play it in front of him.
Lux popped up in his first trip. He takes a strike. Not unusual with the Terry Francona team. A lot of this lineup is in ink every day. The same guys hitting in the same spots. Lux has struggled a bit, but he's going to be in that number 2 hole. Lefty, righty, doesn't matter.
Well, it's interesting. The two guys with the highest walk rate are the two guys hitting at the top of the order. So part of what you like about Lux, he's amongst the National League leaders in on-base percentage. You're trying to get as much traffic in front of Ellie De La Cruz as you can, as he's your main power source in this lineup with his 16 home runs.
1 ball, 1 strike count. And this ball hit well into right field. Wallner looking up, and that ball is gone, and that's a home run. And the arcade game spins here in Cincinnati. 7-4.
Wind blowing out, day game, warm, really good conditions to be a hitter. And it sounded good coming off, just didn't know if it was going to stay in the air long enough.
Just the third of the year for Gavin Lux. He hit that one flat-footed. He just kind of armed it to right field. Wallner chased it back, and it just jumped up over the wall.
Kind of just let the barrel work, let his hands work there. Got his foot down, looked like he was timed to a fastball, and then just recognized the slider that ended up in a good place to hit it. And you're right, just let the hands work, let the barrel work, and it got out of here.
Here's De La Cruz, and he hits one on the ground towards France. France has it. He'll flip over to Paddock covering. De La Cruz still hitless in the series. There's one away. Now it's Stevenson. You know, you played at Coors, which was noted like this ballpark for high-scoring games. Could you tell early when it was one of those days where it was going to take maybe 8 or 9 or 10 to win?
I think Coors is so different, though. I mean, you could fit almost this park on Coors infield.
Right.
Coors is massive. The reason the run scoring so high is that the outfielders either have to play deep, or if they play shallow, it's over their head. A lot of balls over their head, and it's
there's so much room in the gaps for base hits.
Well, there's also so much room for the ball to fall in front of the outfielders. If you look at average depth, right field at target field, it's shallower than most. If you think of Fenway, left field, those left fielders play closer. So you take away some of those singles, but you're not really able to do that because there's so much room in the outfield.
Stevenson took a strike and then fouled one back 0-2.
And I think so in Colorado at Coors, you get a lot of those, and because they stay in the air just a little bit longer, you get those broken bat hits. You get those little bloopers that fall in that make it over the infielders' heads and fall in front, and then there's a lot more big innings because of that. Here, it's get a couple guys on, hit it in the air, and it's got a chance to leave the ballpark, especially on a day like today. So, yeah, you sense it, and you just know that you can't stop hitting. You can't stop trying to score runs. And on the pitching side of it, I imagine it's tough. The guy gives you a big lead. You want to be aggressive, but you also still have to be effective with it because just like that, one swing of the bat, all of a sudden they're right back in. It's a 3-run game.
The 0-2 was right on the corner because he missed it, so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jeffers started to throw the ball around the horn, and here's a little tapper foul, third base side. Yeah, on that 0-2 pitch, Jeffers caught it, and he started to wing it down to Ty France at first base, and then Phil Cuzzy said ball.
It was in the zone.
And
in the zone.
Look, I know that Twins fans still have a beef with Phil for the double in the playoffs. He has just been all over the place with the zone today. This one swung on a miss. Stevenson's down on strike, second strikeout for Paddock. Comes on a changeup, his favorite pitch. And now it's Twins nemesis Spencer Steer. So 2 outs after the lead single from Friedel, the 2-run homer for Lux. It's a 7-4 ball game. We've already seen 4 home runs in this ball game, 3 for the Twins, 1 for the Reds. Pitch is check swing, and it's a ball. That again right at the top of the zone. And it's 1 ball, no strikes. Paddock looks in over the red glove. He delivers, and it's wide for a ball. So one good thing for the Twins is that Joe Ryan is not pitching today with his zone. That would be combustible. He'll get the ball tomorrow against Milwaukee. The pitch swung on and hit high in the air, but a pop-up. Back of third for Lee. Correa's over there as well. Brooks underneath it. Makes a 2-handed grab, and the inning is done. So a 2-run tater for Lux makes it 7-4 in favor of the Twins. Twins back into the batter's box with you-know-who.
To be in, the middle of New York to display a card like this is really such a big part of the Fanatics mission. We think about how do we create new experiences. Now we get the opportunity to put incredible Holy Grail cards in front of tens of thousands, if not millions of new people. It's not just about collectors today, but also about how do we bring new collectors into the space as well. It's really what we do it all for.
Look for the yellow 88 button the next time you fuel up and select Unleaded 88. Better for your air, your engine, and your wallet.
This is the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
Well, if you just parked your car, why don't you stay in, let it idle, and listen to this at bat. Byron Buxton already 2 for 2 with 2 homers. He leads off. Lyon Richardson delivers, and Buck takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. First pitch homer in the second. 37 of his 148 home runs have been on the first pitch. Byron awaits the 0-1, and he fouls it over his own dugout, 0-2. Buck does possess a 3-homer game in his career. That was Toronto. 15 now on the year. He has a new team record for interleague home runs, if that jazzes you up, as he surpasses Torrey Hunter. Obviously, you play a lot more interleague games now. You play everybody. Torrey's thinking, if I got to play in Cincinnati. Swinging foul tip. He held onto it, and Richardson solves Buxton. So Byron retired. Now you can get out of your car. But hurry inside because Matt Wallner's batting, and he's facing a right-hander. This portion of Twins Baseball brought to you by United Healthcare, your hometown health plan. Learn more at uhc.com. Wallner and Lee, the only 2 guys who haven't been on base today. Pitch to Wallner, smashed to the right side of the diamond, picked up on a short hop by McLean, who has been Wallner's nemesis, and he throws out Wally on a pitch. And Matt will trudge back to the dugout. Another ball hit hard. He told you yesterday he hit at 105, but it needs to be 110. Well, he hit that one 109.
Yeah,
he's seething right now.
But I think you're looking for quality of contact. I think the first thing you go back to, okay, how's my approach? Did I swing at a pitch I was looking for that I thought was a good pitch to hit, especially early in an at-bat?
Castro takes down and in, 1 ball, no strikes.
So first you want to make sure the process is good. Once the process is good, and if that's good, it's a lot easier to live with not getting the results you want, but at the same time, it's a results-based game, and he's not getting the results he wants right now.
Twins lead 7-4 as Willie takes wide 2-0, and it's a dangerous thing when you're up big, and then they get a couple, and then if you go to sleep, boy, the Reds can be right back on top in a snap of your fingers. So you need to keep your foot on the gas offensively as a pitch high 3-0. And even if you don't score in the fourth, dig deeper into the pen. You can't let Richardson come in, go two and a third, 3 innings, no runs, and suddenly it's late and it's a 1-run game. Pitch taken for a strike, and it's 3-1. So get a base runner on, get Larnach in the box, favorable matchup.
Yeah, let Paddock sit for a little bit over there, let him catch his breath a little bit longer.
The 3-1 swung on and fouled off the foot of Castro, who's down on his rump, sitting right on home plate. I think that was off his left ankle. Uses the bat to kind of lever himself up like a cane. That hurt.
That was a 3-1 changeup.
He throws it more than any other pitch. Fastball count has gone the way of the dodo bird. It just does not exist anymore.
That front shin, they got him. Squared him up. He's back in there, ready to go. Of course, this will be the time he hits a ball in the gap, and you got to stretch it for extra bases.
See if they come back in, down it in again. 3-2. They do, and they miss ball 4. So they came down and in, and we see teams attack Willie from the left side there often. And he's now at first base, hobbling a little bit. This is the old Luis Rivas, where he would go to first base and he'd be hobbling and limping, and you'd think they needed a walker for him, and then on the first pitch, boom, he's gone for second base.
Or Luis Castillo, when he
Luis
dived back,
Castillo.
and it would take him about 12 seconds to stand up after they picked over, and then he'd take off and look like he's the fastest guy in the game.
First pitch to Larnach is a pitch just off the outside corner. Again, a very close pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Could use something here from Larnach. He's had a good trip. Lined out in his last at bat. He was hit by a pitch in the first. Both of those against Martinez. Ryan Richardson delivers a big swing and a foul straight back, and it's 1-1.
Just amazing. The velocity's 95, but he throws his changeup more than anything. It's got good movement. He's able to generate the most swing and miss with that pitch out of his arsenal. You respect that. You understand that he throws that pitch a lot, and I think that's what allows him to get away with some of those pitches in the heart of the zone with that fastball.
The 1-1 is down and in, and the count is 2-1. Larnach, as we mentioned, has crushed changeups this year.
It's the old, do I go against your strength with my strength? Do I trust it?
Pitch is wide, 3-1. So we saw a 3-1 changeup to Willie Castro. And again, it's a broad term because not all changeups are created equal. Is it a horizontal moving change? Does it drop out of the bottom of the zone? Is it a split? Castro at first, 2 out, not running. 3-1, swung through. It was a changeup, and the bottom fell out of it, and it's 3-2. What do you think, Morny? Double up here with that?
I mean, he threw it the previous pitch, so that was 2 in a row. That's his best pitch. He got away with a fastball right in the heart of the zone that Larnach fouled back.
Here's the pitch, swung on and lined into the gap in right center field. Benson over, took a terrible angle, and it's over his head and off the wall. Castro loses his helmet near third base. He'll steam in and score. It's an RBI double from Trevor Larnach. And there's your Twins answer. It's 8-4 Minnesota.
Oh, perfect. Instead of hitting a ball in the gap and having to run hard, he had to score from first base on a bullet. You're right. The route that Benson took and right, he went straight across like he was going to cut this ball off, and it ended up about 15 feet over his head. Not a good angle. That's what allowed Willie Castro to score all the way from first base in a short right field. Good contact there. He went with the changeup again. Larnach made the adjustment. He stayed on it. And he hit that ball hard. Correa, last time up, hit the ball hard. Hey, become a My Twins member for free with a starter membership. As a My Twins member, you get rewarded for your support by earning points for experiences, merchandise, concession credits, and much more. Enroll for free today at twins.com/mytwins.
So Larnach has driven in his 35th run. Correa lined out to right, singled and scored in the third. He'll bat with a runner at second base. Twins have scored in every inning. That was a big run. We talked about the importance of not allowing Cincinnati to hang around, and thanks to the 2-out walk and then Larnach's double to right center field. They've done just that. Now try to get greedy. Carlos walked twice yesterday, hit a couple of ropes today. They need him. And the first pitch, a strike in the outside corner.
Well, maybe it helps Carlos, too, with everybody around him hitting today, not putting as much pressure on himself to feel like he's got to get the job done for the team to win. And when you spread that offense around, it just helps everybody in the lineup.
0-1 pitch. Swung on and hit sharply back up the middle. That's through for a base hit. Larnach takes the turn. He will round. He will score. RBI single, Carlos Correa. A 2-hit day for Carlos, and the Twins lead now 9-4.
It all started with a 2-out walk to Willie Castro, and then the big 2-out hits that you've been missing on this road trip. Larnach Correa, good sign, hit a ball. 110 his last time up. Line drive to left field there, was able to find a hole up the middle, kind of like what we saw from the Reds in the first 2 games of this series. Man in scoring position, simple approach. Hit a ball not right at somebody.
Now it's Ty France, and he swings and misses. Don't forget, Morty, after falling behind 2-1, it was a 2-out walk to Jeffers in the second that opened up that inning. Clemens then the homer. Buxton followed with a solo shot, so 3 runs with 2 outs after there were 2 out and nobody on. 2 out, nobody on here in the fourth, and already 2 in with Carlos at first base. And a big swing and miss for France, 0-2. Throw in the 2-out, 2-run double by Ryan Jeffers, and 8 of the 9 runs have come with 2 outs for the Twins here in the top of the fourth. 0-2 to France. He's been really good with 2 strikes, and he swings and fouls and stays alive, 0-2. Twins saving up all the offense, all the 2-out hitting, all the rallies for this final day of the road trip. Got a little team meeting. They said, we really want Morney to get to do a post-game interview on the radio, so let's get it done.
I'm sure that had everything to do with it.
0-2 pitch, and it's wide. Well, I didn't want to mention the 2 guys you talked to in the clubhouse are combined 0 for 5 today. Everybody else has a hit, so.
We only mention we talk to them when they're doing well, right?
1 ball and 2 strikes. France an RBI double his last time up, and he watches a pitch wide, and the count is 2-2.
The at-bats have been good. The discipline's been good. Swinging at pitches that they're going up there looking for and then doing something with them.
2 balls and 2 strikes. It's funny how easy these guys can make the game look when it's going well and how hard it looks most of the time. Liner back up the middle, past a diving De La Cruz and into center field. Boy, great effort by Ellie De La Cruz. Landed hard on his left elbow. It was just past his outstretched Inspector Gadget arm and into center field. And again, a base hit for Ty France with 2 outs. He has 2 hits today. That's going to get Tito out of the dugout yet again, and with Brooks Lee set to bat, we're going to have ourselves a pitching change. This pitching change brought to you by Uponor, the official plumbing, infrastructure, and building solutions partner of the Twins, driving sustainable change in Twins territory and beyond. The scoreboard update with John Vitas is next on your home for Twins baseball.
2 bands, 1 night. Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Guess who that is? Roger McDowell.
Check him out. He has his uniform on upside down with the shoes on the hand, and it looks like he's walking on his hands. Has his cap hanging down. That's supposed to be his head. Well, the Mets really trying to turn it around. They do, however, trail in this ball game 4-0. I love that.
He's just added some homers as well. We'll update you on that at the bottom of the inning, guys.
All right, thank you, John. It's Brent Suter, the Harvard man, longtime Brewer. He's been around the game a long, long time. Left-hander to face Brooks Lee, who flips around about right-handed. Brooks is 0 for 2. Both of his at-bats left-handed against Nick Martinez. 2 on for Lee with 2 out here in what has been a 2-run 4th inning, looking for more. First pitch to Brooks, a strike, and the count is 0-1. Suter in his 23rd game, the ERA a whisker over 3, 32 2/3 innings, just 20 strikeouts. Leans at the waist and delivers, and he bounces one, and the count is 1-1.
Got a fastball that averages 86 miles an hour, but he gets further down the mound than Bailey Ober, than Pablo, who's got extension as much as anybody in the big league. So he's got a lot of deception. He's jumping at you. He's kind of funky way over there, as you mentioned.
This ball hit high in the air and fouled down the third base line. It was a changeup at 77. Brooks was way out in front. Yeah, he stands on the third base side of the rubber. He bends over like he's picking up a set of keys that he dropped on the floor. I don't know how he holds a position that long. I think it's probably a yoga pose. And then he really jumps down the mound at you. His hands are way out away from his body.
Yeah, he's trying to speed you up and distract you with motion and funkiness in his delivery, jumping at you, and then he's pulling the string. So a lot of guys that throw the ball that close, you're expecting it to get on you, and then it almost just kind of never gets there.
2-2. Fouled off, and the count stays at 2-2. I guess one good sign for Brooks, he is 0 for 2, but when you're getting your third at bat and it's the fourth inning, after you only get 2 at bats last night, you're going to have some chances. Suter, a funky look. He's had a long career. And this ball is hit high in the air, shallow left center field. Friedel is there, Steer is there, Steer peels off, Friedel makes the catch. Brooks is 0 for 3, but the Twins had 2 more 2-out runs here in the fourth inning. They lead this game 9-4 after 3.5.
One thing off your plate so that you can get back to cheering on your favorite home team. Hoffman Weber Construction, an official partner of the Minnesota Twins.
Twins up 9-4. It's a shootout early here in Cincinnati. Chris Atterbury, Justin Morneau, we're in the home fourth. Will Benson, Christian Encarnacion Strand, and Santiago Espinal. As Benson kicks things off by swinging through a changeup, and it's 0-1. Big Will Benson struck out swinging in the first. He watches this pitch down and in, and the count 1-1. He was drafted by Cleveland, debuted in Cleveland, moved here to Cincinnati, reunited with Terry Francona.
And it feels so good.
The 1-1. That's apparently high. 2-1.
Tough angle, tough route on that ball in the last inning. Twins will take it for sure, but they'll have to make up for it.
Swings and misses 2-2, and that's another changeup. He's a big, strong guy, and typically these guys, with the type of ability he has, they can hit the heater. Paddock trying to work around him with some different types of pitches, and this ball is hit well in the air to left field. Castro racing after it, has room in the corner and makes the catch. And again, that was a fastball, but it was out away and kind of sapped the power from the big left-hander, Justin, by the location of that pitch.
Yeah, 2-strike count as well. I think striking out his first at-bat, maybe trying to just shorten up and move the ball forward. And he did, but Willie ran it down.
Encarnacion Strand. Pitch on the way, and it's delivered foul down the right field line. A good mass of fans here. And the count is 0-1. They were lined up again today. Not quite as thick a line as yesterday for the bobbleheads, but where they turn out here in Cincinnati for their Reds as this ball hit high in the air to center for Buck. Drifting back a little bit. Onto the warning track as he makes the easy catch and a couple of fly ball outs later. 2 out. And we'll take 10 seconds for station identification on your home for Twins Baseball. Hi, this is Chris Atterbury, and you're listening to Twins Baseball Simulcast on WCCO, KMNB HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul, and KMNB FM and HD Minneapolis, St. Paul. Santiago Espinal, the 2-out hitter. 9-4 Twins lead. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Paddock offers, and it's wide. And it's 1-0. Paddock had that 27-pitch first, but he's gotten that pitch count well under control since. Trying to avoid that 2-out damage, and a breaking ball down and away. It's 2-0. He's handled the bottom part of the order so far. Hitters 6 through 9 are 0 for 6 in the ballgame. The pitch swung on and make it 1 for 7. I had to bring it up. Espinal lines one right back up the gut. And there's a man aboard for Matt McClain.
He got himself into a count there where he had to throw a strike. He didn't want to fall behind 3-0 to the 8-hole hitter and a guy who has 0 home runs on the year. So you reach back and you challenge him. You say, here's a fastball. I got to get back in the count and see if you can get him to hit it at somebody. He did a nice job of just hitting a hard line drive right back up the middle.
Now McClain, as always, a big out. Don't want to flip the lineup card for free to lose 2 for 2 tonight. Throw over to first, and Espinal dives back. Bottom of the 4th inning in Cincinnati. Twins trying to salvage one here in the Queen City before heading home. Reds will head to St. Louis. That's a big rivalry. As a first pitch breaking ball misses in. It looked like Phil wanted to call it a strike and couldn't quite bring himself to. One ball, no strikes. Don't want to fall behind McClain. And a pitch wide. It's 2-0. So back-to-back 2-0 counts here for Paddock. He grooved a heater to Espinal, and now Jeffers going to come out and iron some things out before he throws a 2-0 pitch to McClain.
Yeah, you don't want to turn this lineup over. This big of a lead. Twins have scored in every inning. You have the momentum. It's been a rough road trip, but this game's got a real good feel to it.
You also haven't had an answer for Friedel in the on-deck circle. He's having a really, really good year. They're pushing him hard for an all-star berth, and the numbers merit that. National League, star-studded. Two balls and no strikes. Runner at first. Big gap on the right side of the diamond with Clemens near the bag at second. Paddock a long hold. He pitches, and it's fouled straight back down below us. He challenged him up and out of the zone, and McClain couldn't lay off.
We've seen him a couple times in this series hit a hard ground ball that got past first baseman Ty France. There he looked like he was maybe just a little bit late on that ball.
Espinal stays put, and the breaking ball swung through. Espinal delayed, steal, snap throw to second as he dove back in. Pardon me, snap throw to first as he slid back in. Well, he had me confused. He was safe back at first base. It's a breaking ball swing and miss, and then as the ball was being swung, I had kind of a delayed little hop towards second base, and Jeffers snapped it down to France at first base, and Espinal was able to slide in behind the sweeping tag attempt. The pitch. Swung on a hit in the air to left center field for Willie Castro. Castro drifts underneath it, makes the catch. A nice job, Chris Paddock. Reds strand a runner at first. We've played 4. 9-4 Twins. Check in with John Vitas on your home for Twins Baseball.
Twins Baseball.
Biggest thing we're bringing is a brand new Tony Gwynn drop I did with his estate. So we just signed a deal at therealist.com to actually go through his entire archives, present them, and auction them off. And to announce it, we did this limited edition 1994 The Lost Season card. Because, you know, between August of 93 and May of 95, Tony Gwynn batted .406 in 162 games. So in the back, we have the stats of what could have been.
Anytime we can put on these uniforms, the same ones that those guys played before us in the Negro Leagues, it's an honor to put it on and to share this field with them.
It's a piece of history, so I mean, to be able to wear it present day is honestly an unreal feeling. Once the lights are on and the anthem takes place and you're standing there on the line, it'll sink in as to what this moment really means, because I do think it's a meaningful day.
for New York. Lead for New York in the bottom of the third. Guys?
Well, it's 9-4 here. It'll be Jeffers, Clemens, Buxton against Brent Suter. Suter, longtime Brewer, but he's really back home here in Cincinnati as the first pitch strike delivered to the righty Jeffers in the count 0-1. He grew up here. He went to the famed Moeller High School as the pitch delivered, and it's down and away 1-1, alma mater of Alex Wimmers, but probably more famously Ken Griffey Jr. and the Larkin boys. There's a two-sport star there as a ground ball to the right side. Picked up on a big head-high hop by McLean. He throws out Jeffers, 1 out. Suter then went on to Harvard, played baseball for the Crimson, ended up in Milwaukee, had a nice run there, 1 year in Colorado, and now maybe near the tail end of it, he's back home. He never moved away from Cincinnati. Stayed here as his permanent home throughout the course of his long and successful big league career, and now he gets to pitch for the hometown team.
Kind of one of those wicked smack guys.
He's pretty smart. Pitch to Clemens is a ball, 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, he's found a way to have a very successful big league career.
This one fouled straight back, 1-1.
Doing it in an unconventional way, not overwhelming you with velocity. You mentioned averages 86 on that heater. Deception, he works quickly through his delivery. He rushes you a little bit, gets way down the mound further than anybody in baseball.
Swing and miss by Clemens in the count 1-2. Cody's had a massive impact today with that 2-run homer in the second. Yeah, he ends up landing almost in the grass as he comes jumping down the mound. He must have amazing push off that back leg to get down the hill the way he does. And he misses down and away. It's 2-2. Buxton's on deck, by the way, already 2 home runs. Suter is very involved in a lot of charitable causes. As Clemens foul tips one, stays alive 2-2. And one of his big things is about the environment and being environmentally conscious and recycling and things of that nature. And he's been very active in getting other players and clubhouses to kind of fall in line. 2-2. Swung on a miss, and he changed him up. And he spins Clemens into a top, and Cody is out number 2. And here's Buck. 2 for 3 with a pair of home runs. Byron Buxton has now reached in 15 of his last 29 plate appearances. Now, I didn't go to Harvard like Brent Suter, but if I do the math, that's more than half of his at-bats. He's reaching base, half his plate appearances. He swings and misses in the count 0-1.
You went to the Harvard of the West, right?
I think they would call themselves the Stanford of the East in my eyes. Of course, Harvard told me you can't learn in shorts, so they didn't really respect what we were doing out in California. The admissions director looked at me across the table when I told him I didn't want to apply, and he goes, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, I think I'd rather go to Stanford." He said, "You can't learn in shorts." Hard shot down the right field line, past a diving Encarnacion Strand into the corner. Buxton into second base, steaming around second, and he'll settle for a 2-out double. So it's not a third home run, but how about 10 total bases through 5 innings for Byron Buxton? He doubles down the right field line. I said hard shot, not really. Hard to catch. That ended up being a little hollow, and maybe that's what threw Encarnacion Strand off as he kind of porpoised over the top of that ball. It's a double for Buxton. They're announcing in the press box his 700th career hit. And he's at second for Matt Wallner. Wallner swings and misses 0-1. Now, one thing Byron has never done in a career full of accomplishment is steal third. The way Wally's struggling, Suter paying no attention to Buxton. Wallner takes wide, the count 1-1. Now, the thing with Buck is he's already in scoring position at second base. So it might not be worth the risk, but he turns around, he looks at De La Cruz, takes inventory, edges off, and Wallner swings and misses. It's 1-2. With Wallner fighting it, and again, he faced the righty earlier. Suter is literally like the worst matchup, isn't it, for Wallner? In terms of the deception and the way he pitches?
For that part of it, yes, but not being overwhelmed with velocity. Big hole at short. I know we don't want him up there just trying to push the ball the other way, but sometimes that's what gets you back.
1-2, and that's high, 2-2. I feel like sometimes when you're gripping the bat and you're frustrated, you'd rather have a guy just trying to throw it through a wall than a guy who has all the guile and cunning Brent Suter.
He's throwing as hard as he can. You just try and catch up to it. A little opposite here.
2-2, fouled away. Stays alive, 2-2. Again, 2 outs, nobody on. Twins get a double. They've started 2 different 3-run rallies, or a 3-run rally and a 2-run rally with 2 out, nobody on. Can Wallner cash in? The pitch swung on and fouled straight back. But the follow-through on that changeup was funky. It was almost like he dropped the ball to Matt Wallner.
It's just that deception. He's got a quick arm, and I think that's part of where his deception comes from. It's from the hip to the shoulder pretty quickly, and you're right. It's almost like he's just trying to take something off, pull the string on it.
2-2, fouled away. Wallner hanging in there and fighting off some good pitches. You can hear the roar of appreciation for a nice catch in the stands to our left. Kid's got a glove on, some sunglasses, white sunglasses.
Got stuck in the web. Pretty nice play.
He might just leave it in there. 2-2. And it's taken wide, not by much. Boy, Suter struck him out. That was a strike. Man, Cuzzy struggled for both sides today. That one split the zone. Wallner is fully extended now with his right foot scuffling that chalk line as he pulls another one foul.
This at-bat might be even though he might be getting frustrated right now, it might be the best thing for him. You go through these at-bats, you're fouling off pitches, you're taking close pitches, you're battling your way through. And sometimes this is the best way to find your timing, to figure out where you're at.
This will be the 10th pitch of the at-bat. It's on the way, and it's looked at low, ball 4. That is a great plate appearance for Matt Wallner.
Well, we saw it last night from Carlos Correa. Right? First 2 at-bats, saw a lot of pitches, walked twice, and then the hard contact followed today. So it might not necessarily lead to production or hits today, but it could be the type of at-bat that could get him back to where he wants to be. And if he starts swinging the bat well, you can see this team going on a run again, because you need him to do what he did when he first came off the injured list.
Here's Willie Castro batting right-handed, and a pitch floats up but high, 1 ball, no strikes. Suter came out of the pen, retired 3 in a row, including the first 2 here in the 5th, and Buxton's oppo double, a walk to Wallner. Castro scored twice. He's 1 for 2 with a walk, and he takes high, and it's 2-0, and Suter's lost the zone. And again, he threw, 11 pitches to Matt Wallner, and he threw a ton of pitches in the strike zone that Matt just kept fouling off. All different locations, all different velocities. Now he wheels, looks back at Buck, who just kind of wanders back to the bag, taps it with his red spikes. Byron, a 3-hit day. He's at second base. Wallner, a hard-earned, well-earned walk at first. 2 balls, no strikes to Willie. Takes down and in. It's 3-0 with Larnach on deck. Already the 3rd pitcher of the day for the Reds. Twins lead at 9-4. They've out-hit the Reds 11-6. Homers for Buxton twice and Clemens a 2-run shot. Now the pitch and the 3-0 taken. 3-1. What's he throwing here?
Like he's going to throw. It's got to be that sinker. He's just trying to get something hit into the ground.
He does indeed come in with the sinker for a strike, and the count is 3-2. All right, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Buck has a head start at second base. So does Matt Wallner at first. Twins trying to add on with more 2-out runs. They've scored 8 times with 2 outs. Check swing. Did he go? He did not. Ball 4. And the bases will be loaded for Larnach.
This just feels like they've flipped the script on most of the games we've seen on this road trip.
That's the polar opposite. We've been on the receiving end of these types of at-bats. Castro literally went to a knee to keep from swinging through that pitch. It was down. Started his swing, and he held up and literally took his whole body to the ground to keep from being rung up.
How did it start last inning? It was a
2-out walk.
2-out walk. How did it start this inning? A 2-out hit and then a couple of walks to follow. So the
2-out walk in the second inning too.
Yeah. So the at-bats were, over the last couple of days, innings been over. They've been able to grind through them. They've been able to fight off some tough pitches. Get the benefit of a couple of calls possibly along the way, that pitches that maybe could have gone against the Twins, but you need those breaks every once in a while to snap out of it. How nice would it be to blow this game open right here?
Well, Trevor Larnach will have that chance. Larnach today has been hit by a pitch, line to center, and then doubled to the wall in right center field and not going to run. Trevor second on the team in runs scored. His 35th run batted in. Third on the team behind Buxton and France. And the first pitch is taken low, 1 ball, no strikes. In simplest form, what Trevor's been able to do this year is not get himself out, chasing pitches, in particular down and in. Swing choices have been so much better. And he lines this one sharply, but it's caught by McLean at second base. Boy, he drilled it. A line drive to right, ticketed for the grass in right field, but McLean leapt and he speared it out of the sky to steal a hit and an RBI from Trevor Larnach.
This Tuesday, June 24th. Bid on exclusive Twins experiences, including a fine dining experience at the Capitol Grill with none other than Royce Lewis. For more info and to bid, visit twins.com/broadcast auction.
You're listening to the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
Got Chris Paddock so excited he started early. He missed low with a ball, and now ball 2 is down and into Friedel. TJ Friedel's 2 for 2, a double, a single. He scored 2 runs. Twins lead 9-4 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As Paddock comes set and delivers, and Friedel watches ball 3. Not the way Paddock wanted to start the inning.
I was going to say, pitch got in really good shape after that 27 pitch first. That last thing you want to do with a 5-run lead, fall behind.
And the 3-0 in for a strike. Climb back has begun. Cincinnati, with its history, great jersey watching ballpark. I mean, the benches, the Morgans, the Roses everywhere. Ellie De La Cruz, certainly the most popular active jersey. As this ball jetted into center field, Buxton racing back on it. Now backpedals under it in front of the warning track, and that's out number 1. Nice job to come back from a 3-0 deficit. Couple of Ken Griffey 30s in the stands. There's a Devin Mesoraco. You don't see a whole lot of those. The Moustakas jersey, a lot of Barry Larkin 11s. Lots to choose from if you wanted to buy yourself a red jersey. There's an Eric Davis jersey down here. Same 44 that De La Cruz now wears. There's a pitch to Lux, fouled away down the third base line, 0-1.
It seems like anyone who doesn't have a jersey on has a red shirt or a white shirt on.
Red shirt, red dress, red pants, red overalls. They live up to the nickname. Pitch for a strike, and the count is 0-2. You know, and it's funny because you go to Pittsburgh, right? Everybody's wearing black and gold because all of the teams have the same colors. So you could wear your Penguins gear or your Steelers gear to a Pirates game, which we see in Bradenton all the time, and you blend right in. The crowd looks perfect. But the Reds and the Bengals could not be more different in their color palette. There's a breaking ball down and in, and it's 1-2. And yet this place is an absolute blur of red and white. They love their Bengals, but you are not wearing black and orange to a Cincinnati Reds game.
I like it when they all align.
I think it makes a lot of sense. The 1-2 pitch. That's low, 2-2. I'm trying to think how many places really do that. And Pittsburgh's the one that jumps out.
Well, before the Lakers went to L.A.
Yep, purple and, well, but the Vikings weren't there yet, so I guess that doesn't work.
It worked in my mind. I was born slightly after that happened.
2-2 is low. Lux kind of leaned out and looked at it, and 3 balls and 2 strikes. But it is remarkable. And the seats here are red as well, or white in the upper deck and left. And so everything's red and white, except there's one like summer camp here that's wearing neon orange in the upper deck and left, and not Bengal orange. As a pitch for a called strike 3. Lux was looking for ball 4, and he took strike 3. That was the old 60% of the time the full count pitch is off the plate, I'm just going to walk to first, and never even thought about swinging, and that's 2 away for Ellie De La Cruz.
Well, it was a changeup he dropped in the upper outside corner of the strike zone. Partly he gave up on it because he saw it out of the hand and thought it was going to end up off.
De La Cruz is 0 for the series, a sharp one hopper to second. Clemens has it, throws to first. De La Cruz still 0 for the series. Another ground ball out for Ellie De La Cruz. Another scoreless inning for Chris Paddock. 9-4 Twins after 5 on your home for Twins baseball.
Shop online at JeffBelzerChevy.com. Chevrolet.
Together.
Let's drive. Covering games for the Twins means I'm always on the go. Thanks to Blaze Credit Union's secure digital app, managing my finances couldn't be easier. Home or away, Blaze has me covered, and they'll do the same for you. Learn more at BlazeCU.com, insured by NCUA.
Well, another former Twin into the fray for the Reds. They've got to the bullpen for Ian Jabot. He threw 3 games for Minnesota, moved on to Cleveland, now Cincinnati. He's had the bulk of his big league success here in Cincinnati. Thick-bodied right-hander, and he'll face Correa, France, and Lee.
Featuring a 4-seam sweeper, cutter, slider, and a changeup. Fastball is going to average about 94 miles an hour. He's going to be asked to try and get as many outs as he possibly can. This game is 9-4 as it gets late.
First pitch is a breaking ball to Carlos, who's 2 for 2 today, and Carlos takes it for a strike. If I'm not mistaken, Jabot's the guy whose dad was a cricket star in England. I want to say he was in Houston with like the oil business. As a pitch wide, and the count is 1-1. Jabot grew up in Texas, ended up at Tulane.
You sure he wasn't a Houston Oiler?
He's no Earl Campbell. That tearaway 34 jersey. Did see a guy wearing a Love You Blue Oilers cap when we were in Houston as this ball hit high in the air, right field. Benson drifting towards the line. Looks up into the sun and makes the catch. Ty France will bat. Yeah, his dad was Russell Jabot, the cricketer. Any cricket in Canada? Did that part of spill into
because there's a lot of
the colony?
Especially in Vancouver here, a lot of immigrants from Southeast Asia.
Pitch for a strike in the count 0-1.
See, I even remember as a kid seeing it in some of the parks, so I'd be there watching my mom or dad play fast pitch.
Little cricket action. Here's the pitch, and it's wide, and the count is 1-1. You ever try it?
No. And it's funny because forever we had the most Australians of any. We had a big presence of Australians and guys would bring boomerangs with them and cricket bats and all that stuff. But I don't know why I never attempted it.
I would think that they would be trying to get baseball guys to participate. As a pitch swung on and piled high in the air, foul. Near the Twins dugout third base side, Stevenson's over, thinks he has a play, reaches out and just does grab it before it hits the ground. Boy, that wasn't easy. He takes another look up there to see what the wind is doing to try to test him. That's a nice play by Stevenson.
Maybe trying to see what his third baseman was doing too. That ball. I don't know. That was not an easy play. He kind of backhanded it on the way down. That ball looked like it was over the top of the Twins dugout, and with the wind and the spin on that ball, he ended up catching that about 10 feet away from that rail.
All right, 2 outs, so the rally can start now, and Brooks Lee is the hitter. They play him in a pull shift. He's batting left-handed, and Brooks takes high. That was the heater at 93. 0 for 3 for Lee. Hit streak is at 17 games, longest active streak in the big leagues. Bobby Witt's 22-game run was the longest this year in the big leagues, as Lee takes a strike, and the count is 1-1. I was talking about this with Paul Molitor during Witt's streak, and he and I both in agreement. Having a star player with a long streak, that's great for the game. As a pitch wide 2-1. Even though a hit streak is such a weird thing in the overall scope of a season, it just builds the excitement, draws eyes, draws talk. I love it.
I love it too. I think it's exciting. Is he going to get it done?
2-1, fouled straight back, 2-2.
When it's one of your guys, when it's you're pulling for him.
Yep.
Talked about it yesterday or last night in the broadcast. Rain's coming. Good thing he got that hit out of the way. He only ended up getting 2 at-bats in that game. Here he's got 2 at-bats left in this one.
Paul said the big questions didn't really come and start bothering him until he got to about 20-25 when he had that, 39-game streak. Before Rick Manning walked him off with Paul in the on-deck circle. 2-2 is low. 3-2 to Brooks Lee.
I think also when you're in the middle of it, hard not to just chase the hits and you get outside of the process, you start thinking about the results.
It's another way the game tests you mentally.
Yep.
Even when you're succeeding.
Because we need more of that.
3-2 pulled into right field for Brooks Lee. Down it goes for 18. Brooks Lee takes a turn. He's heading for second. Little bit of a stutter step. He slides in front of the tag. A crisp double into the right field corner for Brooks Lee, and that is an 18-game heater for Brooks Lee.
Really good at bat. Good solid contact. Laid off a couple of close pitches and then got himself a 3-2 cutter. Got the barrel to it and then immediately scrambling to make sure he gets himself to second base.
I'll be honest, at this point with Brooks in particular, who's one of my favorites, I'm just in it for the beard. I just want to see what that scraggly scruff looks like as he keeps going. Here's Ryan Jeffers. Jeffers has had a good day. Playing with that bruised up hand, pitch in, it's 1 ball, no strikes. These catchers get just abused. And it's that right hand of his, that's his throwing hand. He's been knocked on that hand multiple times this year. Do all the grip tests after you get hit on the hand. As he swings and pops this one up back to second, Matt McLean is there. He'll make the catch, and the inning is done. So a 2-out double for Lee extends the hitting streak, but a pop-up off the bat of Jeffers ends the inning. We've played 5.5. It's 9-4 Twins on your home for Twins baseball.
You like to play it fast and loose on the field, Pisces, since you're a natural athlete and don't have to try too hard to be one of the standout players. But thinking strategically about your approach against upcoming teams will help set you up for success before you even take the field. Getting familiar with the stats and metrics of the opposition will give you the upper hand next time you're facing off on the diamond.
Well, we certainly served it up over the plate. This is a burger fit for a home run king, the 99 burger in honor of Aaron Judge. They sell a bazillion of these at Yankee Stadium. It looks pretty good. I feel like we passed the test. What about you?
I think so. Tasted. Corona, La Playa awaits. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
This is the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
Welcome back to Cincinnati. Twins up 9-4. Let's head down to the farm with our minor league update. St. Paul right fielder Carson McCusker went 2 for 5 with a homer yesterday. The Saints fell to Toledo 6-4. McCusker's home run was his team leading 13th of the season.
Did you see what happened in their extra inning game the other night? Toledo was up 1, and they threw a position player. And the position guy was throwing ephus pitches, and he threw the last 2 innings of an extra inning win.
Well,
Tyler Stevenson swings and misses at the first pitch from Louis Varland, who is very much not throwing ephus pitches. That was a 90-mile-an-hour slider. Varland on for Paddock, who was done for the day after 5 innings, 82 pitches. Varland delivers, and he delivers a strike in the outside corner. It's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, you wondered if try and get 3 more outs out of Paddock with a series against a good Milwaukee Brewers team and no off day before you get home, if you try and save some bullets. But the thought is, we got those arms down there, they're fresh. Let's bring them in and see if we can finish this thing off with a 5-run lead.
0-2 is wide, and it's 1-2. Varland's been really good. You would imagine some combination of Varland, Stewart, Varland, Coulombe, and then, of course, Jax Duran at the bat. Twins lead 9-4. The pitch delivered, and it's high. Now, things can change. You score a bunch more runs, and who knows, maybe Jax Duran, they take the day off, but satisfied with the 5 innings from Paddock, and after giving up the lead in the first, the Twins got the lead back for him in the second. I thought his 3 biggest outs were in the second inning. There's a pitch fouled straight back, and it's 2-2. And he got the bottom of the order on 3 straight ground balls, and I thought that allowed the Twins to almost relax a little bit, breathe a sigh of relief, and they kept pouring it on offensively.
To enjoy the lead.
Yeah.
To be able to...
They've never done that. They hadn't been hitting with the lead. Stevenson takes wide again, 3-2, so from 0-2 to 3-2.
Yeah, other than being up 1-0 after Byron Buxton's homers, the rest of the games they're playing from behind, so it's a really good. It was a really good job of Paddock of being able to do that.
3-2 pitch is taken for a called strike 3. Stevenson didn't like that, and he's trying not to say anything. Now he can't help himself, and he turns back and barks at Phil Cuzzy. And that's probably something along the lines of, hey, I better get that for my guy too, because that was not a strike.
Or the inning off Suter where they drew a couple of walks or some pitches that were very close.
Let's just be honest, on both sides, Phil Cuzzy has just been horrible behind the plate tonight in terms of his balls and strikes. And it hasn't been slanted one way or the other. It's just been not good. As Steer takes a strike and the count is 0-1. This umpire report card tomorrow will be one that you would hide from your parents.
I would go with inconsistent, but I'll let you say it however you want to say it.
Facts are facts. As a pitch fouled straight back, it's 0-2. There's nothing judgmental about it. I like Phil.
I'm just kidding.
Saying he's had a rough day. I called a back pick to first base, a throw to second. So, I mean, none of us are clean on this.
Quick turnaround.
We're all just trying to do the best we can. No balls and 2 strikes. Swung on a missed. He struck him out. Spencer Steer, dominated by his former teammate. Varland walking around the mound. 2 strikeouts for Louis. I love it when Louis starts kind of peacocking around the mound and barking to himself.
Looks like he's getting ready to jump in the ring.
He's the best. That standoff in Houston, I know we ended up losing the ball game, but that was an epic performance by Louis Varland. He was fired up for like 2 days after that. He's in a constant state of fired up. First pitch to Benson, fouled straight back, and it's 0-1.
In reality, we're all just a bunch of overgrown 12-year-olds.
Except for Corey. He's the same size.
Regular grown 12-year-olds?
Regular 12-year-old. No balls and a strike to Will Benson. He's 0 for 2. And the pitch is wide, and the count is 1-1.
Once again, I'll let you say it.
1 ball and 1 strike. How fun has it been to watch Louis as a bullpen guy? Just lean into the role that he was made for.
Just evolve and trust it.
1-1 lined into right center field. Buxton gauges it, makes the catch. He makes everything look so easy in center field. Louis barking. He gets him in 1-2-3 fashion. And that's now 7 straight Reds retired as we're through 6. Twins lead 9.
I'm going to go check out Food Truck Row. So, what did you guys get today?
Philly cheesesteaks.
Both of you got the same thing. Are they that good?
Oh, yeah.
Got a hot dog and some fries.
Just kind of
All
basic
four tables.
ballpark.
Chicken bacon sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
And some...
Crinkle cut fries.
Okay, where are you guys from?
We're from Dallas.
Dallas. That's what's fun about baseball. It brings different regions together, not just the ball and glove and bat, but what we're eating.
If you were to find a jersey or if you swap a jersey with one of the players on the National League, who would it be? Who would you pick?
Okay, so I got an Ohtani jersey last year, so I'm gonna probably say Harper.
Maybe Judge. He's one of the greatest to play the game in the last 5, 6, 7 years, so it'd be cool to have his jersey. Ellie's been fun to watch. Ellie'd be a cool one. I mean, his jersey would probably be too big for me. It'd probably go down to my knees.
4 homers in the series now for Buck, who has 15 home runs for the year. The Twins have 8 extra base hits. Chris Paddock was good enough. 5 innings, 4 runs, 6 hits, and the Twins are 9 outs away from snapping their longest losing streak of the season. Fellas?
All right, thank you, John. Cody Clemens really jump-started it with the 2-run homer in the second, and he faces Ian Gibaut, the righty. And the pitch is wide, 1-0. You have to wonder if Gibaut and Clemens, both growing up in Houston, similar ages, if maybe they've crossed paths on the baseball circuit before. You'd certainly expect it. As the pitch on the way, and it's high, and the count is 2-0. Now, that baseball world, the elite talent level gets pretty small in a hurry. A lot of crossover. Houston, a fertile ground for baseball talent. It's a pitch wide, and the count 3-0 now to Clemens. And I don't even have to ask you, the light could not be more emerald. 3-0, right?
Definitely. For a guy whose playing time he's not in there every day, 100% if he's comfortable.
3-0 is taken. That's a strike. It's 3-1. Clemens, then Buxton, then Wallner. 9 runs on a dozen hits for the Twins, 8 of them for extra bases. As John just mentioned, hard ground ball to first, scooped up there by Encarnacion Strand, takes it to the bag and retires Clemens, and there's 1 away for Buck. Byron, 2 home runs today.
Wouldn't mind seeing a hat trick. Well, this portion of Twins Baseball is brought to you by your select Heartland Chevy dealers. Log on to ChevyDealOnline.com to find a dealer near you.
I'm glad you said hat trick. As a pitch on the way to Byron, and he watches it for a strike. A guy had 3 in a game, and I called it a hat trick, and I got like 20 emails from people in Minnesota saying I could only use that for hockey, and how could I possibly misuse their phrase. As a pitch low, and it's 1-1. I didn't realize that was a hockey-only thing. I just thought that was 3 of anything.
See, usually baseball refers to striking out 3 times.
Yeah. If you say it, it's okay.
Street cred?
The 1-1. Well, have you done it, 3-homer game?
Yes.
So you can say it.
Chicago. And the only place that I like to hit at more than this ballpark.
Chicago?
Chicago.
2-1. Swung on and hit sharply back up the middle. Might have deflected off Gibaut. It ends up at McLean, and he throws over to first. Did that hit Gibaut's glove, or did that just have some nasty spin on it?
It either looked like it deflected off the glove or kind of cued it off the end, had some side spin maybe.
Yeah, either way, it's an out. And again, with 2 outs, that's when the hits and the rallies start to come. 2-out hit batter in the first, 2-out walk, and then 2 homers in the third. 2-out, 2-run double in the third, I should say. The other was in the second. Pitch low to Wallner, 1-0. 2-out walk, and then 3 straight hits in the fourth. 2-out double, a couple of walks in the fifth. 2-out double in the sixth. Pitch high to Wallner, it's 2-0. So with 2 outs and the base is empty, the Twins have not made an out.
You'd love to see Wally check in here.
They had that great long at bat against the lefty to walk. And he hits this ball a ton. Right field, over the head of Benson. 1 hops against the fence. Wallner's headed for second base. Benson up with it. Stroh is offline. It's a sliding double for Wallner. And Wallner throws his hands up in the air in relief at second base. As if to say, finally. He went up and tomahawked that ball into the right field corner. It's another 2-out hit for the Minnesota Twins. Their 9th extra base hit And the big moose is at second base for Willie Castro.
He's no longer at second base now. Harrison Bader going to come in as the pinch runner, so probably a defensive change that was going to happen. Well, he's got to love that. He was talking about wanting harder contact, 109, that ground ball to second base in the fourth, and then you mentioned that walk, the long at bat. And then he finally gets himself something to hit, and it doesn't find the fielder's glove. That'll feel good to know that he's done with his day after getting back and getting closer to where he wants to be.
I think he hit 3 balls over 103 miles an hour today. Because he had the 104, and then he had the 110. As Castro takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. He did strike out looking in the first. He walked in the 5th. Well hit balls. Good for Matt. Putting in the work and seeing the results. And you put in the work, and we always talk about process, but it's nice to see that process validated by some results. 1 ball, no strike pitch to Willie Castro. Ian Jabot offers it up, and it's wide. 2-0. Bader is out at second talking to Ellie De La Cruz. Bader wanders away from the bag. Got the hyper color on both sleeves. It's a pitch taken low, 3-0 to Castro. 8 of the 9 runs with 2 outs. Base runners every inning. Every Twin now with a base hit. Jabot's pitch. And the 3-0 strike taken. Good crowd here on a Thursday afternoon in Cincinnati. They've had this soccer tournament in town as well, this Club World Cup. There's a pitch wide for ball 4. I want to say it was a team from Salzburg, Germany that was in our hotel. And I was reading up last night that their game, they were up 1-0, and then the lightning and the rain that knocked us out knocked their game askance. Larnach's going to bat. Here comes Tito Francona. We could see our old buddy Taylor Rogers. So it looks like Rogers going to have to do more than just warm up today. He might actually have to come into the ball game. We've got a pitching change. It's brought to you by Uponor, leading with water, enriching lives. Together throughout Twins territory. Scoreboard update with John Vitas is next on your home for Twins baseball.
What is something that you snack on that you don't worry about?
I love Uncrustables. I could eat like 10 of them in one sitting.
And no regard for his body? I don't even wait till I thaw out.
Hey, put them in a toaster next time. Just toast it, yep. It'll change your life.
Yeah, just an incredible play by Riley Green. You're an all-star on the field and off, bro.
I appreciate it.
Hey,
thank you.
Riley Green, bro, food genius.
RBIs. However, the Brewers have regained the lead in the second, guys.
Yeah, he's having a great year, Crow Armstrong, and we'll see those Brewers again over the weekend at Target Field. Right now, 2 of my all-time favorites, Taylor Rogers versus Trevor Larnach. Rogers, former Twin, lanky left-hander, as he describes himself, the last of the 2-pitch pitchers. Got the sinker, he's got that sweeping slider. He faces Larnach. 2 on for Trevor, and Larnach swings and misses at the first pitch sweeper, and the count is 0-1. Rogers pitched the last couple of years with his brother Tyler in San Francisco. Said Buster Posey called him and said, look, we got to cut some budget. We're trading you. You know how it works. As a pitch low, 1-1. And Taylor was telling me this just days after they'd opened the checkbook for the Devers contract, and he said, guess there was room in the budget if I drove in 100 runs.
Yeah, they find room for you.
Here's the 1-1. That's a two-seam strike, and the count is 1-2. Rogers still driving the same truck, the man who was notoriously frugal. Looks back at second base. Used to have a regular segment on our pregame show as a sweeper swung on a missed and Larnach down on strikes. So Raj does more than just warm up. He strikes out Larnach. Twins strand a pair here in the 7th. We stretch in Cincinnati. It's 9-4 in favor of the Twins.
Oppo Taco.
I'm gonna guess it's an opposite field, upper deck, maybe something like a
home run to the opposite field.
Yeah.
You got it.
This is a good one. A hack.
I don't know. I mean, is it the same as like the layman's term hack, like a bad chef?
You've guessed correctly.
Okay.
Someone's a hack. You know, someone that's just nailing it in.
Yeah.
They're not putting their heart into it.
Yankovic. The bigger and weirder 2025 tour. Playing his biggest hits in his biggest show ever. Weird Al Yankovic with special guest Puddle's Pity Party. Saturday, June 28th at Treasure Island Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at TICasino.com.
You're listening to the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
Cole Sands is on to pitch for the Minnesota Twins here in the bottom of the 7th. He'll face Encarnacion Strand, then Espinal and McLean. Bader stays in to play left, pushing Castro to right field. Pitch on the way to Encarnacion Strand from Cole Sands, the new pitcher, and it's in for a strike, and the count is 0-1.
Cole's pitched once already in this series, a couple of nights ago. Scoreless appearance, 1 walk with 2 strikeouts.
This ball hit high in the air, right side of the diamond for Cody Clemens. Clemens hands out, France alongside. Cody makes the catch, and 2 pitches for an out. And that's 8 in a row retired. Hey, it's your day at the lake, but it's at the ballpark. Enjoy the game in true Minnesota fashion from The Dock. The area includes space for up to 12 guests and $30 of loaded value on each ticket. Grab this one-of-a-kind experience at twins.com/thedock. One away for Espinal. If only they'd had the dock out there for you to aim at. There's a pitch inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
It's always fun to pick targets out there. More during batting practice than the actual game.
Pitch on the way, and it's in for a strike. Now, I will say, you lefties, you get Utah Street, right? You get your plaque in Baltimore. You get the water in San Francisco. What are the other kind of targets around the league? It's a strike called in the count 1 and 2.
Remember Kansas City, before they did that renovation, they used to park those vehicles kind of in the gaps.
Yeah.
They were way out there. But
what about the fountains in Kansas City? Ever reach the water?
First big league homer.
Right in the water.
Off the top of the thing, it bounced out of the stadium, and lucky he got the ball back. Apparently landed on Joe Randa's car. Kind of like the story we were hearing last night about Molly and parked underneath.
Yep. This ball hit high in the air to left center field. Bader and Buxton. Can't go wrong with either of them. It'll be Buck's ball, and they're 2 away. I hope you didn't do too much damage to Joe Randa's car.
Not enough where he gave me the ball back, so that's good. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun to see the things. I think the one for me, just because it was the imaginary park I played in my backyard, was Fenway, and the monster and all that stuff. That was my wiffle ball field, was Fenway Park, even though I was a million miles away from there.
Big swing and miss, and you hit well there in Boston, right? Boston, New York, you crushed.
Favorite place to hit was Fenway Park, and I'm guessing partly because of how comfortable I was there. And it's also, as I mentioned, in this ballpark.
Check swing, and the ball is low to McLean, 1-1.
You don't have to do anything extra to get a hit to the opposite field, and I think what that does for you mentally standing in the batter's box is huge.
1 ball and 1 strike. Cole Sands shrugs his shoulders and pitches, and he runs one over the outside corner, 1-2. Well, you did have a home run here, that off Alfredo Simon.
Right under the smokestacks in right center field, or just right of center field.
That's a good, healthy poke right there.
No, I was like in the third row.
Here's the pitch. Swung on a line over the head of a leaping Correa and into left field. And McLean is on again with a base hit. It's the first hit since Espinal's single in the 4th. Top of the order, TJ Friedel.
Well, kind of scary to think if they can get McLean going with his speed. He does have 11 stolen bases on the year, has not been caught, but just trying to get him back on track and adding length to this lineup. He's a guy that they're really still counting on to be part of the future of this team.
Yeah, his defense certainly hasn't slumped as Friedel watches one all the way to the backstop and McLean into scoring position. It's a wild pitch from Cole Sands. A little sloppy on ball 1. There's a man in scoring position. Well, the Reds, so much history, and they do a great job of kind of playing up that history here at this ballpark. It's really been a lovely setting to work in. Perfect broadcast booth. If you're looking to design a broadcast booth, they've got it all figured out here.
Yep. Space.
The space, the
proximity
windows.
to home plate.
Yeah, there's the bathroom's close. They got it all figured out.
The most important thing, yeah.
Great angle there. And the history, they got to be a whole museum. They've got statues out there of Bench, Rose, and Morgan. Ernie Lombardi, I think, is out there. Is this one chopped to the right side? Clemens dives, can't get it. It's into right field, and the run's going to score. So the wild pitch will cost Cole Sands a run, and it's 9-5. Third hit of the day for TJ Friedel, continuing to pad his all-star bona fides. And Rocco Baldelli is going to make the long, slow walk out. And I believe, we can't see into the bullpen. We're probably going to see Danny Coulomb come in to face the lefty Gavin Lux. They also would prefer to see De La Cruz from the right side. So Baldelli is out. He has yet to make the indication, and now he does. This pitching change brought to you by Uponor, the official plumbing, infrastructure, and building solutions partner of the Twins. They're driving sustainable change in Twins territory and beyond. Let's go about update with John Vitas next on your home for Twins baseball.
Twins territory, Justin Morneau here for Madden's on Gull Lake. My family's staying at Madden's this summer, and I can't wait to play all.
So Rockies is really like where my major league career really took off. It was a special time in my life, 7 years with the team. And this jersey in particular, 2018 postseason patch on it here. So I've always kept all these jerseys with the patch on them because that's what it's all about, is getting to the playoffs and trying to win the championship. The black jersey with the cutoff, not a lot of teams rock the cutoff anymore, but this is a jersey we wore all the time in Colorado.
Do you guys make your own brisket here?
Yes, we do. We are known by our brisket.
Barbecue brisket sandwich. Quality is better than other places, and it looks good. We're ready to eat.
We go to an average 500 briskets per game. We hear a lot from our fans. They want to try something with wrap, easy to eat. So we say, well, let's do like a brisket wrap and an egg roll.
That's beautiful. You get the gold medal for culinary brisketry here in Texas.
Yes.
in that one is Scooble's throwing game 1. Skeens is throwing game 2 for the Pirates. So we don't get to see them opposite one another in the same game. But if those two guys both threw game 1, that might be about a 90-minute game. You can get right on to the second part of that doubleheader. But if you like good pitching, hope you bought a ticket for 2 in the Motor City today.
Yeah, what are they doing there? Give us the matchup we want.
Or maybe they're saving it for the All-Star game.
Give people what they want. You're right.
That could be the All-Star game. Danny Coulombe will pitch. Twins trying to keep this at a 9-5 score. Connor Joe, right? He's going to pinch hit for the lefty Gavin Lux. First we've seen from the former Pirate and Padre. Joe bats right-handed against the lefty Coulombe. Runner at first base, 2 out. And the pitch is down low, 1 ball, no strikes. Ooh. This was straight out of the Twins playbook. Get 2 quick outs and then get a base hit. The wild pitch put McLean in position to score on the base hit by Friedel. Coulombe tosses the ball in the air. Now steps off, readjusts his cap. Kind of a staring contest going on with Connor Joe. Now Danny back to the rubber. And Joe staring back out. Pitch clock is now at 8. Now down under 5. And the pitch. And the ball is low, and the count is 2-0. Talking about the history here a little bit before that pitching change. Among the firsts for this organization, first of all, the Reds were the first official professional baseball team. Formed in the 1800s, the Cincinnati Red Stockings. They hosted the first ever night game. First team to fly by plane as a foul ball 2-1. I know you appreciate that. You didn't spend all your time on trains. They were the first team to wear knicker-styled uniforms. And they were also the first team to have a televised game. It's a lot of firsts.
A lot of history here. Good baseball town.
Pitch on the way. And it's taken for a strike, 2-2.
27,306 for a weekday day game. 12:40 start. We mentioned it earlier. Lined up outside the gates, waiting to get in here. It's been a fun atmosphere. Obviously, they won the first 2, so the fans are a little bit happier.
Time called as Joe steps out. We're in the bottom of the 7th, and this thing's far from over, especially in this ballpark. Twins do lead 9-5, and they have out-hit the Reds 13-8. Two balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on the way. Swung on, smashed into the net, just past the Twins' dugout, third base side. Connor Joe started that swing yesterday. He was so far out in front, and it's 2-2 still to Joe. Coulombe just will make that ball cut and dive and dance and move around. As Glenn Perkins says, the ball never ends up where it's supposed to end up.
Or where you're expecting it to. Yes.
Really, that cutter has changed his entire career arc. Pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled again up the third base line. One ricochets all the way out into left field. The ball retrievers here, the men and women and boys and girls who play that roll down the line, they have to wear the dark black pants, red and black shirts, and they must be smoking hot out here.
Imagine midsummer, it's not even hot yet.
De La Cruz on deck. Runner at first, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And it's low, and the count is full. Amongst the things that have gone sideways on this road trip, Danny Coulombe gave up his first runs of the year. So he has an ERA. It came in a blowout loss. He's been so good in leverage spots all season long. Endured a bit of time on the injured list. Now the 3-2, swung on and pulled. Foul again. Friedel got a late jump over there at first base for a 3-2 pitch.
Yeah, Ty France holding him on with 2 outs, keeping him close, trying to make sure if a ball's hit to the outfield that you can save yourself a couple of steps on the end of the play. You're able to do that, especially with a right-handed hitter in the box. We see him pulling all these balls foul, not as much concern about him rolling something through the right side.
Here's the pitch, and it's taken up and in, ball 4. Much to the delight of this crowd, they haven't given up on the Reds. The Reds have 7 come-from-behind wins already this month, matching the 7 they had in the first couple months of the season. And they trail it by just 4 with 2 on for one of the game's most dynamic players, Elly De La Cruz. His first right-handed at bat of the game. He is 0 for 3 in the game. He's 0 for the series.
This is his weaker side of the plate, hitting under 200 right-handed.
Pitch on the way, and he fouls it into the dugout, and it's 0-1. I'll tell you who's excited about a lefty is Stevenson in the on-deck circle. He loves getting some lefties.
198 off lefties, 592 OPS. It's completely different from this side of the plate, but he still has pop.
0-1, swung through in the count 0-2. Think about how hard it is to maintain the two swings. We talk about it with Willie and Brooks a lot. But with Ellie's swing, I mean, that's a big swing. It's not a short, compact, simple swing. Big pitch here. 0-2, swung on and pulled foul again up the third base line, wearing out that camera well. Trickles up the warning track. Ball person grabs it and hands it to a fan. Reds fans will get loud here. Twins up 9-5, but 2 on, 2 out, and an 0-2 pitch to De La Cruz. And it's down in the dirt, skips all the way to the backstop, and the runners will advance. Well, the second wild pitch of the inning, the first was Sands. The second is Coulomb. It's 1-2. And again, the tying run is in the on-deck circle. This is far from a sure thing. And when you've lost 6 in a row, 10 of 12, no, there's no such thing as a sure thing until that 27th out is recorded. A ball and 2 strikes to Ellie De La Cruz. Pitch on the way, swung on and pulled foul again. So he's out in front of everything. De La Cruz, the bright green batting gloves. I think he and Harrison Bader might shop at the same batting glove store. Leans the bat back, the pitch delivered, swings and misses, and he struck him out, and Coulomb gets his man. So Danny quiets the rally here in the bottom of the 7th. Reds do get 1. It's 9-5 Minnesota. We go to the 8th on the home for Twins baseball.
Win a VIP package to Taste of Minnesota. Listen for our free Ticket Friday gift.
So the reason I got to Cooperstown is because I played with Cal and I played with Eddie and I played with some of the greatest players ever. And, you know, I just had to figure out how I did my job, and I was honored to have some of the best players that ever played put on uniforms, and they happen to be Oriole uniforms. If there's ever any doubt that I'm 78, all I got to do is look at my old cards and I know.
There's so much history right here, and when I put it on and it's so light, it just feels just right. It feels just right. I mean, look at this. It got the city on it. When I was 7 years old, my uncle takes me where? To Shea Stadium. Darryl Strawberry hits a home run and I become a fan for life.
Spirits, Dutchman Spirits, adventure in every glass.
We go to the 8th inning, and in the 8th inning, Carlos Correa, Ty France Brooks Lee against the lefty Taylor Rogers. Rogers versus Carlos, who's 2 for 4 today, and Carlos lines a ball to left field, and that's hit number 3. So after going 2 for his previous 18, Carlos is 3 for his last 4. He jumped on that first pitch sweeper and hit it sharply to left field for a base hit.
Good sign. Squaring up the baseball, hit it hard. First base hit was 110, second one was 105. We mentioned the walks last night. Looks like maybe he's starting to come around, get back to where he was, where we saw him
Pitch to Ty France, and that's low. 1 ball, no strikes. France was 0 for 14 after striking out in the second. He ripped an RBI double in the third. He singled in the fourth. He has 2 of the Twins' 14 hits. Rogers from the set. Short lead for Carlos, and this pitch hit high in the air to left center field. Steer racing after it, still going back, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Carlos Correa misread it. He was all the way at second base, and he'll have to retreat back to first. That ball was hit about as far as you can hit it without it leaving the ballpark, but Steer caught it about hip high on the warning track back in the corner. That's a ball that Correa can easily tag on and go to second base, but he was already past second base when the ball was caught.
I think he was thinking with nobody out, he wanted to make sure he could score on that ball, and he really kind of stuck his glove out late and reeled it in.
It's Brooks Lee's turn, batting right-handed. He takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. Heck of a catch by Steer.
Yeah, a really good catch. The ball just kept drifting on him. We mentioned wind is blowing out to straightaway center field. Looked like it was just riding that wave.
Rogers delivers, and he catches his own with a sinker, and the count is 1-1. Sinkers and sweepers. I looked at the splits, and Raj actually has fared better against righties than lefties this year. Of course, came up with the Twins as a starter, always a reliever in the big leagues. There's a strike on the outside corner, and it's 1-2, a backdoor sweeper to Lee. Taylor had one of the best mound visit conversations in recent history. Cleveland, tight one, shockingly, between the Twins and the Guardians. I forget who the batter was, but Wes Johnson came to the mound with the Twins holding to a slim lead as Lee swings and misses, and he strikes out for the second out of the inning. And I asked Taylor later what he told Wes, because Wes wasn't out there long, and he said, I told him, Wes, they've got a refrigerator in the clubhouse. They just opened it up. The beers are cold. And I'm going to get this last guy out, and then we're going to go in and drink them. So please remove yourself from the mound before the beer gets warm. Here's Ryan Jeffers. And the pitch is off the plate away, 1 ball, no strikes.
That's a pretty good mound visit.
Rogers, of course, swapped on opening day along with Brent Rooker to San Diego for Emilio Pagan and Chris Paddock, who started today and stands to be the Twins' winning pitcher. Jeffers hits this one high in the air. That one's not coming back. That is a home run to center field for Ryan Jeffers. A 2-run blast to straightaway center field for Jeffers, and Ryan Jeffers with a 448-foot clout, his 5th of the year.
There was no ballpark in the league that would hold that one. That was an absolute bomb and a good feeling for Jeffers, I'm sure. Down in yesterday's game after taking that foul ball off his right hand. Hand looked just fine there. He jumped all over that one.
All 5 of his home runs have been away from target field. Someone might want to hang a gray jersey in his locker tomorrow before the game with the Brewers, because he crushed that ball. And here's Cody Clemens. Twins up now 11-5. Clemens, the lefty, takes wide. 1 ball, no strikes. So Rogers giving up some hard contact. Here's the pitch, and it's checked out. Did he go? Did not. 2-0. Taylor comes set. And delivers. This one swung on a miss, threw it right by him, and the count 2-1. 4 homers today. Jeffers, Clemens, and Buxton has 2. Boy, did Jeffers smash that ball. Pitch is low and away, 3-1. In center field, there's the grass in the batter's eye, and then left of the batter's eye, there's a little walkway, kind of a patio. They call it the Starfire area, and that's where it landed. Above the bullpen. There's a strike called, and the count is 3-2. Sitting kind of on the patios there. It's below the decks of the steamboat. 3-2 pitch, swung on in line towards McLean. Finally, one he doesn't catch, and it's into right field for a base hit. Second hit for Clemens, and the Twins are teeing off on Taylor Rogers. And Raj now may or may not face his old teammate Byron Buxton, and Tito Francona will not give him that opportunity. So Rogers came on and struck out a man in the 7th. but hit hard here in a 2-run 8th inning. We've got a pitching change brought to you by Uponor, leading with water, enriching lives together throughout Twins territory. A scoreboard update with John Vitas on your home for Twins baseball.
Baseball season is in full swing, and just as the Minnesota Twins count on a winning team, you can count on Uponor.
I'm going to go check out Food Truck Row. So, what did you guys get today?
Philly cheesesteaks.
Both of you got the same thing. Are they that good?
Oh, yeah.
Got a hot dog and some fries.
Just kind of basic ballpark.
Chicken bacon sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
And some
Crinkle cut fries.
Okay, where are you guys from?
We're from Dallas.
Dallas. That's what's fun about baseball. It brings different regions together, not just the ball and glove and bat, but what we're eating.
Their game to watch. They're counting on the young man out of Florida to really inject some life into that offense, and we'll see what kind of effect Caglione has on the American League Central race and the American League playoff race in general. Here it's Luis May. Did not pitch above Double-A Chattanooga a year ago. This year, the hard-throwing right-hander 1-0 in 14 big league outings. The ERA is 4.15. He's given up just a couple of homers, walked 7, fanned 14. Facing Buxton with a man on. And Byron hits this ball high in the air to left field, but sadly for Twins fans in the park. The left fielder Steer will grab it, and Byron will not, barring a long 9th inning, have a 3-homer game. Does have 3 extra base hits, Twins 10 extra base hits, including a Jeffers homer here in the 8th.
The beauty of this jersey is the field, the texture, the thin, the stitching is heavy, so you kind of feel that jersey that was very heavy. Check it out, the last name and the number, they have a little glitter on them, so they kind of stack up. It just feels right. I had some really cool cleats to go with it. The way it gets dirty when you slide, it just kind of like rubs off on that glitter. It's really, really cool.
I'm going to go check out Food Truck Row. So, what did you guys get today?
Philly cheesesteaks.
Both of you got the same thing. Are they that good?
Oh, yeah.
Got a hot dog and some fries.
Just kind of basic ballpark.
Chicken bacon sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
And some
Crinkle cut fries.
Okay, where are you guys from?
We're from Dallas.
Dallas. That's what's fun about baseball. It brings different regions together, not just the ball and glove and bat, but what we're eating.
How to get you full and fair compensation. Meshbesher and Spence, Minnesota personal injury lawyers, Minnesotans trust. Go to meshbesher.com.
You're listening to the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
Now Griffin Jacks is on to throw, and Griffin Jacks will pitch with the Twins leading by the score of 11-5. They'll face Tyler Stevenson, Spencer Steer, and Will Benson.
He last pitched on the 14th at Houston, so it's been a few days off for Griff. Fresh arm, should be power stuff coming out.
Remember, Griff pitched in the blowout loss at Houston, then he pitched in the win when they needed him, and then was unavailable when they got into that extra inning situation in the last day of the series. He starts this at bat off with a strike. Always such a fine line between overworked and underworked, right? For a bullpen.
Yeah. Let him sit too long, you bring him in to get work, and then all of a sudden you need him the next 3 days. And it's just the way it goes sometimes.
And I don't know that there's ever been a perfect amount of work, right, for a bullpen. It's never quite pans out like that. Here's the 1-1, swung on a missed. And it's 1-2.
I got change up below the zone, swinging over the top of it for strike 3 right here.
I think they've taken that off the board in Vegas already.
Oh, sweeper.
1-2, and it's in there for a called strike 3. How about a straight 4-seam heat at 98?
Yeah, Stevenson didn't like that one either. That's second straight at bat. This one he probably had an argument on also.
This was off the plate.
98, probably a full ball off the plate.
It's funny because Griff went for a while there without even throwing his four-seam. He was throwing cutters and the occasional two-seamer, but he was staying away from his four-seam for a while, and he ran that one off the plate and got a called strike 3. Stevenson, 3 punch-outs, 2 looking. Now it's Steer. This one fouled away. It's 0-1. Hey, looking ahead with Hoffman and Weber, the Twins returning home to host the Brewers tomorrow. Joe Ryan gets the start. 4th of the big leagues with a whip at .90. That's walks and hits per innings pitched. First pitch is at 7:10, around the air at 6:30. Look to Hoffman Weber Construction for all your roofing, siding, and window needs in the Metro and the Brainerd Lakes area. Base hit left field for Steer. Steer picks up another knock. He's had a really nice series, 2-hit game here. And now it's Will Benson. Joe Ryan, the perfect guy to start off a big weekend series with your rival. Benson anchors in with the left foot. Spreads out in the box. Former basketball star as well. Dad was a big basketball star, and Benson can't check his swing. Or can he? No, he didn't. He went. It's 0-1. 11 runs on 16 hits for the Twins today.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Yep. Everybody's been involved. Paddock was solid. Now Jax offers it up, and Benson swings and misses, and the count is 0-2. Benson wants time. Buxton started it, but then after the 2 runs in the bottom of the first, you thought, uh-oh, here we go again. And then Cody Clemens clubbed the 2-run homer in the second to give the Twins a 3-2 lead. And then Buxton with his second home run to make it 4-2. Bottom of the second, 1-2-3 fashion, and that was really the ballgame. Pitch a called strike 3 inside corner, and down goes Benson.
Benson must have had something else on his mind there also, a fastball. 98, great location, right on the inside corner. But
I just can't even imagine as a hitter, though, because that powerful unicorn sweeper of his, the changeup is elite, the sinker's good. The four-seam's good. He mixes in a cutter. Like you can't just go up there and think you're going to figure out what he's going to throw you. There's a line drive left field. Base hit. Drops in for Encarnacion Strand.
Well, I think part of it has to do with the fact that you look at the off-speed stuff. You look at that sweeper. You look at that changeup. And for some guys, you try and eliminate their best pitch. You figure he's going to throw you it. But even if you're looking for either one of those pitches, they're really hard to hit. So I think a lot of times hitters go up against Griffin Jackson, they just hunt fastball. They're looking to hit the first fastball they see. That's what we saw from Nolan Arenado that opening series against the Cardinals. He's a guy that you just don't want to get into deep counts. You don't want to get 2-strike counts, and I think that's kind of what you see a lot of times when he gives up hits or he gives up some home runs. They're just jumping on him as early as they can, and they're just trying to get that first fastball and move it forward.
Santiago Espinal will bat with 2 outs and 2 on. Singles for the former Twins farmhands, Steer and Encarnacion Strand. Twins lead 11-5 here on getaway day in Cincinnati. Pitch is down and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Beautiful weather today here on the banks of the Ohio River. Rainy all day yesterday. What a lightning show we saw. But Cincinnati, they put on a nice show here at the Great American Ballpark. 1-0 pitch. Moved him off the plate, and the count is 2-0. Missed in.
Sweeper didn't sweep.
2 balls, no strikes. Jeffers puts the target up, and the pitch is in, and the count is 2-1.
He buckled him with that one. 2-0 sweeper. Last time he had a 2-0 count in the 3rd inning, he got a fastball. He hit it right back up the middle. They weren't giving him one there with runner in scoring position.
Pitch on the way, and another sweeper, and it nearly clipped McClain in the on-deck circle. Ooh, 2-2. That sweeper was down and away, and it was fouled right back to McClain, who did some fancy footwork to stay out of the way. pitch on the way from Jack. Swung on and hit to the left side of the diamond. Backhand pickup by Correa. Long throw in time. What a play by Carlos Correa. Boy, he unleashed a howitzer of a throw to first base to get Espinal, who was hustling up the line, and end the bottom of the 8th inning. Reds strand a pair. Twins lead 11-5, and this is your home for Twins baseball.
Twins baseball was made for radio, made for news talk.
Guess who that is? Roger McDowell.
Check him out. He has his uniform on upside down with the shoes on the hand, and it looks like he's walking on his hands. Has his cap hanging down. That's supposed to be his head. Well, the Mets really trying to turn it around. They do, however, trail in this ball game 4-0. I love that.
Religiously discounted promotion throughout the season.
You're listening to the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
Harrison Bader tried to become the 10th different Twin with a hit today. He takes ball one from Luis May. May twirls one over for a strike, and the count is 1-1. He came on, he threw one pitch to Buxton, who skied it out to center.
1-0 slider, a guy who throws 80% fastball.
And he misses down and in with another slider, and the count is 2-1.
He throws turbo sinker at 99. That slider usually mixes in it occasionally.
2-1, there's your fastball. Bounced in the hole at short. Long throw for De La Cruz. Nearly fell over. He one-hops it to first, not in time, and Bader legs it out. There's the 10th Twin with a hit. De La Cruz, I was kind of excited to watch him square up. It looked like his feet went out from underneath him there at shortstop.
Yeah, he kind of went to plant and turn. Still made a strong throw, but with Bader's speed going down the line, beat it by a half a step.
Now it's Willie Castro. How about Willie's day? Struck out, singled, and then he's walked 3 straight times.
Not something he does all that often.
Willie from the left side of the plate, and the first pitch is wide. One ball and no strikes to Willie Castro. 17 hits for the Twins after a rough stretch here on the road. Pitch wide, the count is 2-0. They'll return home with a little hop in their step. Take on a very good Brewers team. That'll be an aggressive, fast-paced series. Ground ball to the right side. McLean has it. He shuffles to second for one. The relay back to first, and that's not in time. Castro legged it out. Tito's got his hand in the air. I think he's going to look at this one.
Wow. This is an absolute cannon. Quick exchange, and then he throws from lower slot. He's like it's like a sidearm high 3/4. How he's able to get as much on that throw as he is incredible.
Well, they're not going to challenge. So Castro did beat it out, and here's Larnach. Trevor Larnach, an RBI double. He's been hit by a pitch. He's lined out twice, including a missile to second base caught by McLean. The first pitch here is wide, 1 ball, no strikes.
Wouldn't mind seeing him square something up and elevate it.
Larnach's thinking, wait a second, you tell me this guy actually throws fastballs? Pitch on the way, and it's there for a strike. That's a sinker at 98. 1-1.
Well, he's had as much hard contact or hard outs as anybody on this team. One place they're not standing is on the other side of the fence.
That's a very good point. Pitch down and in, and it's 2-1. Thought it was so funny talking to Wallner about how this week he kept hitting it hard right at people, and it was driving him crazy. And when he finished it with, "I don't know how Larnach does it," and I said, "Yeah, he did it all last year." And he goes, "Last year he's done it his whole career as a swing and miss, and it's 2-2."
It's one of the most frustrating things on earth, doing everything right and still not getting the results you want.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. And Larnach takes low, 3-2. Again, that's one of those pitches that maybe last year he swings at. Maybe he gets a little overzealous. Correa's on deck, already 3 hits today. 1 out, 1 on. Swung on, pulled to the right side, foul. Yeah, if you're looking at positive signs for the offense, Carlos 2 walks yesterday and then 3 well-struck hits today. Wallner with that long at bat for a walk, and then he rips a double. I mean, you don't need to look far to find highlights for Buxton, for Lee, for Trevor Larnach. But some other guys are coming along for the ride now. And this ball hit down the left field line, foul. And it stays full.
Of the home runs that Clemens has hit, don't forget Clemens. Yeah. Also, of the home runs he's hit, it seems like a lot of them have changed games, have turned things around. And it's kind of had the deja vu at the start of it. Buck with the homer, then you give up the lead right away. Then he answered right back, and a long home run that'll get everybody in the dugout fired up.
Yeah, it gives you just a threat at the bottom of that order as Larnach takes ball 4, and he earns a walk, and Correa will bat. The Twins are going to have Ryan on the mound. We're going to see Jacob Misiorowski tomorrow, and he's the flame-throwing rookie for Milwaukee. What was he throwing in his debut? Did he throw like 103?
103, yeah.
So there may be some heaters to hit. I'm sure you'll see Cody Clemens in that lineup, as well as Wallner, Larnach, and the lefties against the young right-hander. We'll see a lefty in Quintana on Saturday, then a righty in Quinn Priester. Strike called here, and it's 0-1. 3-hit day for Carlos Correa. And nothing cheap about any of them. Pitch on the way, and it's wide, 1-1.
Yeah, 110 miles an hour, 105 miles an hour, 104 miles an hour. The guys will tell you, as much as anything in today's game, they know how hard they're hitting the ball, and they know if they hit it consistently hard, it's going to lead to good results, and that's what they're looking for. Even if they're making outs, it's hard contact.
1-1 is wide.
I'm not going to complain about it getting hit at 75 miles an hour, but it's just a more difficult way to be productive. Very few guys across the game that can do that and still consistently get hits.
Jacob Wilson, Luis Arise, pretty small group. 2-1 is wide, and the count 3-1. Well, the good hitters count here against young Luis May. Those hard sinkers. Teams have attacked Carlos with sinkers in all year long. Get that two-toned mahogany top bat today. Taps his back shoulder. And the pitch is down and in. That was the sinker, and he took it off the plate for ball 4, and the bases will be loaded for Ty France. It's going to engender a visit from the catcher Stevenson. That's 7 walks issued by the Reds. Pitching coach going to make another trip out as well. As France will bat with 1 out in the bags full. Brooks Lee in the on-deck circle. He's extended his hitting streak to 18 games. So again, the Brewers are coming to town, and the Game 1 pitching matchup is a delight. Joe Ryan against the young hard-throwing Misiorowski. I know that Brewers fans will represent. Looking forward to the Twins fans getting out on a Friday night at Target Field as well. I know the team excited to get back into their home ballpark.
Yeah, you go on those long road trips, and then it feels like the road trip is twice as long as whatever the homestand is. And that was a long 3-city trip going from coast to coast. But then you get back home, you get settled in, and it feels like you're packing up to go on the road again. So I'm sure they'll enjoy getting back there and settling in. Should get in at a decent time tonight.
Ty France tried to add to an 11-5 Twins lead. They've out-hit the Reds 17-10. Bases loaded, infield back, 1 out. May delivers. And the first pitch lined right to short, caught by De La Cruz. Well, a 6-foot shortstop, that's a base hit, 2 runs batted in. But a 6'6" shortstop with long arms, that's a well struck out number 2. Brooks Liebel back.
Gets the hit left-handed. 2-pitch mix. A lot of breaking balls, a lot of sliders below the zone. Let's see if they go right at him with that first pitch fastball, or they try and get ahead of him early with something spinning.
Pitch on the way is swung on a miss. It was that turbo sink at 99. And the count is 0-1. Brooks last year, he said, we didn't see that in the Big West.
Yeah, there's not too many guys like that.
No balls and a strike. And it's checked that down and in. He took it. That was another sinker. That at 99.5. That's a radio frequency, not a velocity a human should be able to propel a ball at. And May makes it look easy. He's a big guy. There's a pitch down, and the count is 2-1. All legs. Then kind of his big rounded shoulders. He's got to be, what, about 6'5"? Big barrel chest. Tilts the toe back towards the shortstop. Now delivers. And he misses down and in again. It's 3-1. It's that cross body firing from May. And you can see him kind of contorting his torso, trying to square up his shoulders.
This is an at-bat here where Brooks has got to shrink the strike zone. These are the ones that are really important.
3-1. And he takes low, ball 4, and that's an RBI for Brooks Lee. And it's 12-5. Castro strolls home. Larnach goes to third. Correa goes to second. It's 3 walks in the inning. And here's Ryan Jeffers, another guy that I think we should bring up. He was fighting it offensively, and he's come through with a 4 RBI day. 2 for 4. Scored twice, driven in 4. Included a mammoth home run off Taylor Rogers in the 8th. The pitch is taken for a strike. You know, we talked about Correa and how the offense hasn't been what the Twins had hoped for. I think Jeffers is a guy who has had spurts, but the Twins are really expecting more power from Ryan, too. There's a swing and miss in the count 0-2. And on top of that, Ryan is expecting more power from Ryan.
Yeah, you kind of coming into the season, you figure you're penciling him in for 15 to 20, and if he kind of picks up where he left off, maybe gets up to 25, but saying that still is out of reach for him with how much power he has.
0-2 is down and in, 1-2. He's done a great job with 2 strikes of altering his approach, being much more effective deep in counts, hitting the ball to right center field. And he's just waiting to unlock that power stroke. He crushed one today. He watches this ball wide, it's 2-2. Larnach, Correa, Lee on the bases. Twins up 12-5. Luis May, the pitcher. Here it comes. And it bounces. Nice job by Stevenson. He's had a long day back there. Started with Martinez, then Lyon Richardson, then Brent Suter, Ian Gibaut, Taylor Rogers, and now Luis May, M-E-Y May. 3-2. 2 outs. Here it comes. Swung on a foul tipped. Re-racket.
Mentioned Stevenson. Almost 180 pitches thrown so far in this game for Cincinnati Reds. A lot of relievers, a lot of high pitch counts. Give Twins credit. Keeping at-bats alive, fouling off a lot of tough pitches, running deep counts, working walks. This has been a team effort offensively.
3-2 again. And it's taken for a called strike 3. Down goes Jeffers, inning over, and the Twins, for the second time today, will leave the bases loaded. They lead 12-5, home ninth next on the Home for Twins Baseball.
One of the biggest events in the world.
Well, we certainly served it up over the plate. This is a burger fit for a home run king, the 99 burger in honor of Aaron Judge. They sell a bazillion of these at Yankee Stadium. It looks pretty good. I feel like we passed the test. What about you?
I think so.
food. When we're together, the Twins rise as one. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
You're listening to the Treasure Island.
McLean will bat. He'll face Justin Topa. Topa takes over for Jax. Paddock went 5. Varland a scoreless 1-2-3 inning. Cole Sands 2/3 of a frame. Coulomb got an out. Griffin Jax a scoreless 8th. McLean a single and a run scored. He takes a first pitch strike from Topa, and it's 0-1.
Topa threw an inning and a third in game 1 of this series. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Just another quality arm down there in that bullpen.
Big swing and miss by McLean, and it's 0-2.
There's a different look. A lower arm slot.
You know, we heard about Topa as a big ground ball guy. He hasn't really been the double play machine that we expected. As a pitch fouled away down the right field line. Now, part of that is, he was hurt for a whole year and came back with a slightly different mix. Said he added a different changeup. Still throws that sinker and the sweeper and the cutter. They set up way outside, and the pitch is way outside. And that adds up to ball 1. Unless Javi Baez is swinging, that's probably a take. And this year, even with Javi, it might be a take. The 1-2, down and in. As a hitter, if you watch the catcher get in the right-handed batter's box before the pitch was delivered, you may be thinking you're not swinging at that one. Pitch wide on the count 3-2.
If you're looking back at the catcher, you're probably getting ready to take one in the ear hole.
Jeffers moved out so far that you could see him.
Yeah, maybe out of the corner of your eye. Yeah, there's a lot of guys who wear sunglasses during day games. That was part of their gig, part of their thing they do.
3-2 rolled to shortstop. Correa pounds his pink glove, picks it up, throws to first. 1 away. Blyleven still accusing Molitor of trying to look back at the catcher like 50 years ago. Paul still denying that he did it.
Can't let those die, can you?
Here's TJ Friedel. Here's the pitch, and it's in for ball 1, just off the plate.
Whoa.
That looked like a strike. Good pitch. It's ball 1 to Friedel, who's a good player. Topa delivers. A little ground ball. If you don't watch the Reds every day, or you're not in the NL Central, you probably don't think of TJ Friedel as a household name, but he gives you everything you want in center field. The defense, scrappy at bats, a little bit of pop.
Doesn't strike out a ton. Good walk rate. Kind of more of a prototypical guy you'd see at the top of the order in years past, setting tables.
Pitch is in for a strike, and it's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out here in the 9th. Looking forward to finally testing out our post-game interview equipment here. It's been gathering dust on the road trip. It's a pitch wide, and the count is 2-2. Always fun to get a chance to chat with one of these guys right after the ball game. Topa sets. And the pitch is fouled off the hands, and the count stays at 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Justin Topa sets right at the chest. Empty bags, big shift is on, and the pitch is in for a called strike 3. So Friedel down on strikes, and Topa and out away from ending this one. Connor Joe is the hitter. But that was about the most extreme infield shade we've seen. Brooks Lee was practically in front of Carlos Correa at second base.
Couldn't get any further away from third.
Brooks will wander back over near the line now for Connor Joe. And the pitch to Joe is taken for a strike. Topa peppering the zone. Twins looking to snap the 6-game losing streak. They've lost 10 of 12. And what a nice way to get back in the win column. Get back to 500. There's a pitch down and away. 1-1. 2 homers for Buxton. Big home run for Clemens. Jeffers. Big day for Correa. Swing and miss, and the count is 1-2.
Yeah, he scored 12 runs on 17 hits. He's usually going to be more than just 1 or 2 big contributors. Hopefully this is something that carries over into that series against the Brewers, where you should be good crowds. Should be good energy in the ballpark. Hopefully good weather as well. It's supposed to be hot Saturday, Sunday.
The 1-2 pitch. Swung on a miss. He struck him out, and the Twins will shake hands for the first time in a week. Topa fans 2. The Twins rack up a dozen runs, and they defeat the Cincinnati Reds by the final score of 12-5. We're going to have a post-game conversation with one of the many heroes of this one. But first, we check in with John Vedas. He'll tell you what's to come on today's post-game download.
Thank you very much, Chris. That is a really nice win for our Minnesota Twins, who snapped their longest losing skid of the year in